Coming up this morning, Dr. G is with us every day, every day. No, he's with us every Wednesday. Unless we have other scheduling conflicts at 9:30, he will be here with us this morning. We maybe now we are going to be talking with Kay Soak. She is a police officer's wife in Portland, Oregon, where once again, and this has been going on since last March, once again, riots, vandalism broke out in the Antifa city of Portland, Oregon. Good morning, Dottie. Welcome to the show. I guess I did stop and start that stream very quickly there, so hopefully we're okay on all the platforms this morning. I'll check it to be sure. So maybe we'll get K-Soak and see how everything is going. It's very early there, and I texted her early this morning when I saw violence had once again broken out. And, of course, we had George Floyd protests going on in Portland, Maine yesterday as well. However, I don't believe anything was violent, and there were only a couple of hundred people. There's always violence in Portland, Oregon, whenever these things start. Scott McEwen also is going to be with me at 11 o'clock this morning. As Mike mentioned earlier on the show, Scott McEwen is the co-author of Hell Week and Beyond, the Making of a Navy SEAL. He's also co-author of the book about, it was American Sniper, Chris Kyle. And there's actually a piece about Chris Kyle in this book. And we're going to, ask him about the book. And you know what I'm going to do? I'm actually going to play you a little bit from the book before we have Scott on this morning. I've got a little bit of the audio book, which is really cool. I got about 4 minutes of the audio book. It mentions Chris Kyle in that part. And it sounds so I've got the book. I'm personally going to read the book. But you may want to, too, after you hear a little snippet from that coming up a bit later on this morning. So that's all happening this morning. We have 2, maybe 3 guests, and we just have a ton of stuff to get to, and we're going to get to it right away. I've got a little clerical thing going on, so if I sound a little out of touch momentarily off and on here, it's because I'm waiting for what is called the commercial log, which we need, which I was trying to get earlier this morning, and there was, I'll get it here. So if I sound a little distracted from time to time, don't mind me. We're going to get that taken care of. That's nothing you need to worry about, obviously. Anyway, welcome to the show, and please share. Please share. We're going to be talking about Ryan Fecteau this morning and what he is doing, his petulant, childlike behavior in the Maine House of Representatives is unbelievably, it's so juvenile, it's so sophomoric, and it flies in the face of representative government. So that shows you they care more about having their panties in a bunch and punishing people than they do about carrying out the people's work. Ryan Fecteau, remember that name. Fame. He's going to live forever. Remember that name. Ryan Fecteau. Call his office. I called this morning. I don't expect to get a call back. I did refer to him to his secretary or one of the administrative assistants, who is very nice in the office, as a petulant child. And I was very polite, but I was very direct. I was very firm. I didn't hold back. I didn't swear, but I was clear in what I thought of his actions. And you should be too. 207-287. I want to make sure I get it right. 1300. I'm sure I've got it right. I said it ad nauseum yesterday. 207-287-1300. The office is open now. 207-287-1300. Ryan Fecteau, Speaker of the Maine House, has locked out the Republicans from all their committees, meaning you and I, half of us, don't have representation now in the state of Maine, except for the actual voting on issues, which are going to be, they're going to be whittled down and decided upon by all leftists. And all leftists are going to push it through just like they did the budget. Because Ryan Fecteau's panties are in a bunch, and he's punishing. Oh, can we hear that? Oh, I don't have that ready yet. Okay. All right. I've missed a few things this morning because I've been so busy trying to get my commercial things squared away. So I will get Ryan Fecto here shortly. So I'm going to be doing things in the background. So if you're watching, you're going to see me doing things in the background while we're listening to stuff. And one of the things I've got to do here, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a real quick break. I need to. And we're going to be right back with Today in History. And we'll talk about Ryan Fecto and let you hear what this petulant child, what this baby, what this man boy said on WGME. Stick around, coming up.
Legacy 1160, WSKW.
Hi, I'm Greg from Gregory's Disposal. Dumpsters, dumpsters, dumpsters. Call Gregory's Disposal, 465-4500. We can help. Cleaning out Grandma's attic, or if the kids finally moved out, leaving the junk behind, we have debris dumpsters and many sizes of roll-offs to get the job done quickly and efficiently. Call Gregory's. Call Gregory's, 465-4500. How about remodeling, redoing the roof, tearing off the old porch? Gregory's will bring the right size dumpster at the right cost. Our dumpsters are brown, and we keep our prices down. Call Gregory's. Call Gregory's, 465-4500. Gregory's can also help with your weekly rubbish. We offer many services, including curbside pickup, residential dumpsters, whatever you need. Gregory's is there to help. Call Gregory's, 465-4500. In case you missed it, call Gregory's Disposal, 465-4500.
Spring is the time of renewal for both you and your home. So brighten your day and your surroundings with great items from Townline Antiques. Do you love classic decor? You'll find furniture, artwork, glassware, signs, and hundreds more pieces around every corner. Their classic colors and styles will have you thinking spring and feeling invigorated every time you see them. Or maybe you enjoy collecting books, comics, coins, sports memorabilia, watches, or classic electronics. Townline Antiques has rare items that you won't find anywhere else. Townline is also showcasing a new display of art glass that's absolutely dazzling. Each piece is one of a kind with its own unique flair of colors and form. You simply have to see them to appreciate their beauty. And for everyone who loves to bring items back to life, they're now carrying high-quality fusion mineral paints that give you beautiful color and a durable, long-lasting finish. Townline Antiques, open Tuesday through Sunday from 10 to 5, Route 201, right on the Winslow-Vassaboro Town Line.
Hey folks, who's thinking about spring? Hi, this is Bernie from Trailside Performance. If you're taking on those tough chores around your property, come check out the #1 selling farm tractor in the world, Mahindra. Not only are Mahindra tractors tough, but they come with a 7-year warranty to back it up. With Mahindra, there's no regeneration, no diesel particulate filter, and no hassle. I personally invite you to our Winslow or Newport location to learn more about Mahindra and their awesome discounts and finance programs. At Trailside Performance, we service what we sell, and we sell Mahindra.
All right, welcome back. Legacy 1160 WSKW. Just trying to get things lined up and ready to go. I think we're almost there. Don't mind me in the background. Pay no attention to that man behind the curtain. Checking your time right now, by the way, at 9:12. And we'll get to the Ryan Fecto statement here, which is succinct and stupid. And that's coming right up. 207-287-1300. Call his office, 207-287-1300. He shut out the Republicans. We have no Republican representation in Maine right now because Ryan Fecto, the Speaker of the House, single-handedly banned all of them and replaced them with Democrats on all their committees. Wrong, wrong, wrong. Petulant child, baby, kick his ass the hell out. He doesn't deserve. He's too little. He's too juvenile. He is like that freshman on his first day of high school. Oh, where do I go? What do I do? Oh, I'm so nervous. I've got to do something big and be remembered. Tyrant. He's a young man boy tyrant. You got to hear the audio coming right up. Let's find out what happened on the 26th of May in years past. Here's the Associated Press.
May 26th, 1940. During World War II, hundreds of thousands of Allied troops begin their evacuation from Dunkirk, France. They escape Nazi Germany's advancing forces, making their way across the English Channel to Britain. 1868. In Washington, President Andrew Johnson's impeachment trial ends with his acquittal. Johnson serves out the rest of his time in office after his clash with the post-Civil War Congress. 1907.
Young fella, if you're looking for trouble, I'll accommodate you.
Actor John Wayne, nicknamed the Duke, is born Marion Morrison in Winterset, Iowa. Wayne's rugged roles in decades of westerns and action films made him an American icon. 1994. The girl is mine. Pop star Michael Jackson and Elvis Presley's daughter Lisa Marie get married in the Dominican Republic. They split up nearly 2 years later. And 1949. Singer Hank Williams Jr., son of country music star Hank Williams Sr., is born in Shreveport, Louisiana. Today in history, May 26th. Camille Bohannon, The Associated Press.
All my rowdy friends coming over tonight. Oh, there you go. Today in history. How are you? John James here at your service. 207-287-1300. Speaker of the House of Representatives, Maine, Ryan Fecteau. Here's the deal. Here's what happened, in case you're new to the show or didn't hear this yesterday, although we talked about it all morning with Heidi Sampson, and I pushed it all morning long. Monday, the Republicans, the Maine Republican House members thought, hey, it's Mask-Free Monday. We'll come in without a mask. It's science, right? So, but Ryan Fecteau decided, oh, no, it's too dangerous. We can't go on the honor system. We don't trust the Republicans. So everybody has to wear a mask when they come into the State House. So the Republicans didn't. They came in without a mask on, and they were punished. They were punished by Ryan Fecteau. No, wait a minute. Hold on. No, the Republican House members weren't punished. The Maine people were punished. There, that will teach you, Maine people who now have no representation. That will teach you to elect people who come into the State House without a mask. That'll teach you. What the hell is that? What is that? What is he doing? Who does he think he is? He's too big for his britches. His head's too big for the frickin' House chambers. Ryan Fecteau is a tyrant. He is a power-hungry dictator, and he's dictating what Maine is going to look like in the governance area. This is not right. Here's what he had to say. Here's what Ryan Fecteau told WGME. Listen to this. Got it? I think we're good. Okay, here's Ryan Fecteau.
But at the end of the day, that's the policy we have in place. I expect our members to follow that policy.
As punishment, Speaker Fecteau stripped all 7 of their legislative committees, which means they can't participate in the committee meetings where bills are debated and worked on with public input.
I expect obedience or they will be punished. Ryan Fecteau, does he sound like an American House Speaker, or does he sound like the guard at a stalag? You will be punished if you aren't obedient. Is this America anymore? I ask you. Unbelievable. 207-287-1300. 207-287-1300. You want to call the governor? Go ahead. You won't get her either. They don't want to talk to the people. They could care less about you and me. The Democrats could care less about you and me. Heidi Sampson gave us her cell phone number yesterday. You cannot even call the office of the governor or the House Speaker and talk to them. You cannot do it, and neither will they get back to you. I've gotten emails and messages this morning, people who have emailed, people who have called. No response, no reply at all. There was no, and what do you expect? What do you expect? Unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable. All right, so okay, we aren't going to, okay, I don't know. Okay, I'll have to wait till a break. I heard back from KSOC out in Portland, and I can't text her while I'm on. I can't multitask. I know my limitations. So that's where we are in the state of Maine right now. 207-287-1300, Governor's Office, 207-287-3531, 207-287-3531, Governor Janet Mills. You can put your 2 cents in. Again, please be kind. If they're kind to you, if they start giving you mouth, and looking at that guy in the governor's office a couple of weeks ago with Shelley Rudnicki and Naomi Wolf, you see, he went right off the. If they start treating you like that, you dish it right, you give it right back to them. Let them be the ones to hang up on you. And they'll think, well, that showed them. How would they like that? The Speaker's office was very, very friendly. They were very friendly, and the lady who I talked with on the phone was very good. And I'm sure she was getting very upset with me. I'm certain she was. But I let it be known, this guy's a petulant child. He is ruling Maine as a tyrant, and it's got to stop. It can't stand. And you've got to let them know that. You have to let them know that. If people don't speak up and start standing up, and how easy is that? We aren't asking you to grab your musket and go out and fight on the frickin' war, on the war field. Just call them up. Call them up. Let your voice be heard. 207-287-1300. Share. I want to see this all over social media. I want to see those numbers all over social media, and I want this to be a deluge, and I want this to change immediately, and so do you. Not just because of me, because of us, because of freedom, because of Democratic Republic, because of representative government, which we no longer have. Thank you, Ryan Fecto. Again, if you missed what he said, here is what he said about the Republicans who are now off all their committees because they dared to come in without a mask on Monday.
But at the end of the day, that's the policy we have in place.
Policy.
I expect our members to follow that policy.
Obey.
As punishment, Speaker Fecto stripped all 7 of their legislative committees, which means they can't participate in the committee meetings where bills are debated and worked on with public input.
I expect them to follow the rules or they will be punished. Doesn't even sound like Maine. Doesn't sound like America. I have never felt so ill about government in all my life. I hate it. I hate it. Look what it's doing to us. Look what the left is doing to America and Maine. Look at what they're doing. They hate us with a passion. They're pushing critical race theory. They're pushing all of the things that our founding fathers wrote the Constitution and the Declaration to protect. They're fighting against every last bit of it, from our elections to critical race theory, driving the wedge between us, to the propaganda news outlets, which in my mind should be illegal in this country. To parade around as news without being called out is sickening. The left is destroying America, and it has come to Maine in the form of Justin Fecto and his minions. Vote them out. And for now, call him up. Share that number, 207-287-1300. Call that office. Demand the Republicans get reinstated to their committees, because now we are without zero. We've got zero representation right now. It's 9:23. And I'm going to have to take a break here. And we will come back. We'll have Dr. John Garofalo on the air. And I'm going to be fiddling around here for a second because I did just get my commercial log, which I need. So we know who is sponsoring this pep rally here. Well, we know who's sponsoring the show, don't we? We know who is sponsoring the show. Oh, I've got the wrong log. Okay, well, take 3. I guess third time lucky. All right, I'm going to muddle through here. Stick around. We're going to be right back in uno momento, I think. At least that's the hope. And we're going to be talking with Dr. John Garofalo. If you have a question for a real live medical doctor, by all means, give us a call, and he will be glad to answer your questions. Time right now, 9:25. Again, call the speaker's office. Post the number all over the interwebs. Tell people they need to call to get our government back to us. It wasn't bad enough that Governor Mills has ignored any questions from Republicans for over a year. Ignored completely. Open door policy, my butt. No open door policy for Republicans. Zero. And the legislature went through and passed a budget with a simple Democratic majority. They shut out Republicans during that. Now, no more committee assignments for any Republicans. All Democrats, all the time. Just what the left wants. 207-287-1300, 207-287-1300. You can also email Justin Fecto. I've got his email address. Excuse me. I'm sorry. Wrong one. Ryan Fecto. Geez, I hope I put the right one up there. Ryan.fecto@maine.gov. I'll get that to you when I come back. Stick around. Dr. G is next. I'm John James.
Do you have itchy, irritated, or burning eyes? You may be experiencing dry eye syndrome. Contact Kennebec Eye Care and let them help find a solution to the problem. When we concentrate on activities like reading, driving, and computers, we blink less, which reduces the amount of tears on the surface of the eye. An exam with Kennebec Eye Care will identify what's causing the issue and how to best treat it. Schedule an appointment today by calling 872-2797. Kennebec Eye Care, your site specialists, 216 Main Street in Waterville, and online at KennebeCeyeCare.com.
Hi, it's Chelsea from Whittemore & Sons, where we are proud to carry Coyote tractors, some of the most powerful, fuel-efficient, technologically advanced tractors ever built. One reason we love Coyote tractors so much is that we have the perfect machine for anyone with any project. Coyote tractors are also easy to learn, so you can start using them effectively right away. Professionals who have been using Coyote tractors for years love that we have in-depth knowledge of all of our Coyote tractors so that they can get the exact machine and implement they need to take on the most important tasks. Check out the full line of Coyote tractors, attachments, implements, and accessories at Whittemore & Sons, with dependable sales and service for over 50 years. If you have questions or want to schedule a pickup, just call 207-474-2591. Run ahead of the pack with a Coyote tractor from Whittemore & Sons on the Waterville Road in Skowhegan. Sales and service by a family who cares.
Whittemore & Sons, outdoor power equipment.
Spring is the time for renewal for both you and your home. So brighten your day and your surroundings with great items from Town Line Antiques. Do you love classic decor? You'll find furniture, artwork, glassware, signs, and hundreds more pieces around every corner. Their classic colors and styles will have you thinking spring and feeling invigorated every time you see them. Or maybe you enjoy collecting books, comics, coins, sports memorabilia, watches, classic electronics. Town Line Antiques has rare items that you won't find anywhere else. Town Line is also showcasing a new display of art glass that's absolutely dazzling. Each piece is one of a kind with its own unique flair of colors and form. You'll simply have to see them to appreciate their beauty. And for everyone who loves to bring items back to life, they're now carrying high-quality fusion mineral paints that give you beautiful color and a durable, long-lasting finish. Townline Antiques, open Tuesday through Sunday, 10 to 5, Route 201, right on the Winslow-Vassalboro Town Line.
I'm CBS 13 meteorologist Lexi O'Connor. Partly to mostly sunny, hot, and humid today. With late day thunderstorms developing for this evening, some may become strong to severe with the potential for damage and winds. Highs will be in the mid 80s to low 90s, 70s along the mid coast. Mostly sunny 70s and less humid tomorrow. Mostly cloudy, cooler, low 60s Friday.
But at the end of the day, that's the policy we have in place. I expect our members to follow that policy.
As punishment, Speaker Fecto stripped all 7 of their legislative committees, which means they can't participate in the committee meetings where bills are debated and worked on with public input.
So by punishing the Maine representatives, no, he didn't punish the Maine Republican representatives. He punished Mainers by taking away their not that we had a lot anyway, with their divisiveness and their eagerness to rule as one party in the state. As if that weren't enough, now they have no committee members. So now we're down to about 0 representation. The number to call, 207-287-1300, 207-287-1300. Make that phone ring off the hook. This can't stand. Or there will be an uprising. What do they want? It's like they're saying, okay, come on. What do we have to do to get you people to come down to the State House here and storm the Capitol? I'm telling you, this is not looking good for them. They just will not give an inch, not an inch. And this guy's got to be stopped. This guy he's too immature to be in the position he's in, wielding the big gavel. I think the big gavel has gone to his head or struck him in the head, perhaps. But 287-1300, 207-287-1300. Number to call. That's Ryan Fecto's office. Of course, you're not going to get him. You'll never get him. But by all means, let what's on your mind be heard. And by the way, be kind. Do not yell unless they start yelling at you. Then that would be very unprofessional. Then the gloves are off. But you be kind until they give you a reason not to be. Hi, good morning, Dr. G. How are you?
I'm fine. How are you?
Oh, it's been a crazy morning.
I gather. Maybe you ought to take a breath and check your blood pressure.
Well, yeah, that's one good idea. Plus, I've got all these other little incidental things going on, which are not enabling me to do what I should be doing to pay the bills on the radio station either. We are Legacy 1160, WSKW. I am John James, and this is Dr. John Garofalo. How's your week been, sir?
Not bad. Not bad.
Good.
We have a somewhat ill doggy, but he's doing okay.
Have you been to the vet? You know what's wrong?
Oh, yeah. No. She had some bad teeth and she had some surgery, but today she was kind of bebopping around a little bit and having trouble with one of her legs, so she's going up to see the vet again today, so it's okay.
Well, good luck with that.
They're elderly dogs,
Yeah. How old's your dog?
Oh, God. How old is Candy? Candy is like 12, something like that.
Wow.
Yeah, well, I mean, she's a little dog, so that's not super old,
What kind of a dog is she?
Well, she's a pug, Lopso, Shih Tzu mix.
Wow. So she got a pug face, like a pug nose?
Oh, yeah, she looks more like a pug than anything.
Oh, I love that. My favorite dog. My dad had a Boston Terrier for years. Boy, didn't he hate to have to put that dog down.
I bet.
That just about killed him.
Yeah.
But anyway, the dog was blind. It's kind of it's a sad, funny story. The dog, this little, pardon us for getting off on a dog. I posted something yesterday on my Facebook, and people were taken aback by it. And what it was, and I said this, and I posted it because this really happened to me. And what I posted was I stepped outside, and I actually did this. I turned the corner of my garage, expecting to reach down and pet my dog. And then suddenly I realized I don't have a dog. Now, I know what you're thinking. Delusional much? Problems thinking much? Here's the deal. My daughter has a dog who's over quite a bit, I think. And I love the dog. The dog's outside, and I always come out, and I always see the dog always comes up, and I always like to, rub the ears and everything. And for some reason, I think I saw something out of the corner of my eye, and I thought, oh, that's Frey. And I was thinking I was going to go out and pat the dog, my dog, and there was no dog there. And so I thought that was kind of a funny story, and I posted it, but a little embarrassing. So anyway, good luck with Candy. Anyway.
Yeah, that's a great name. I mean, that's the name she came with. Our dogs are rescues, so.
Yeah, people are telling me, oh, you got to get a rescue dog. Got to get a rescue. That's what Frey is. That's what my daughter's dog is. A rescue dog from, I think, Mississippi or Louisiana, one of those. Yeah. And this dog is just absolutely great. It's the best dog in the world. I know everybody says that, but this dog is truly awesome.
That's cool.
Anyway, so medically, do you have anything you want to start with this week?
Well, the only thing I thought I'd mention is I think it's kind of sad that they've gone to this offering lotteries for people to get their shot.
They have, yeah. They're doing lotteries all over the place. I didn't get anything.
I think it's pathetic.
Yeah.
You should be getting your shot because it's the right thing to do.
Well, okay, that's a matter of opinion. That's a matter of opinion.
Yeah, but I mean, to incentivize, well, I'll tell you what, if they're going to incentivize people after the fact, then I think what they ought to do, okay, you want to establish a lottery for everybody who's gotten their shot? Then everybody who's already gotten it ought to be in the lottery automatically.
Absolutely.
It's the way it all works, not just give it to the people who decided to sit on their hands and do nothing.
Okay, there you go, yeah. Okay, I agree with that.
That's the point I want. That's the point I wanted to make.
I'm not in the lottery, I don't think. Nobody offered me.
No, you're not.
Okay, so that's not right. I want something. I do.
I mean, if you think about it, if they're offering $1 million lottery prize or whatever, and if you were buying Powerball tickets, suppose everybody in the United States got immunized, that's 330 million roughly.
Yeah.
Your chances of winning that lottery are about the same as winning the Powerball anyway.
Oh yeah. Oh, that's true.
So what's the difference? You might as well put everybody who's had a shot into the lottery.
Yeah.
Would be the right way to do it.
Weren't they giving out Sea Dogs tickets or something? Wasn't there that kind of an incentive or?
I don't know. I don't know what was happening in the state. I'm talking about kind of some of the national.
Oh, the national. Yeah. In Ohio, Mike DeWine's giving away $1 million out there.
Yeah.
I don't care what they're doing. I care what Maine's doing. I know Maine's was giving out incentives. And when you brought that up, I thought, I never get anything. They never offered me jack squat.
Yeah. But they haven't thrown you in jail either. So
that's true. That's a good thing.
All right. What do we have for questions today?
Okay. Let's see what we've got. Anybody wants to ask a question of a real live medical doctor, now is the time. Do it online. Do it on one of our platforms at Legacy. You can go to legacy1160.com and click on video, and it'll take you right to the YouTube video, and you can enter questions there, or you can just go over to any one of the Facebook pages we're on. Legacy 1160, Right America Media, Freedom's Pep Rally, American Women Who Bear Arms. There are a whole bunch of them. So let me see. Okay. All right. Oh, now this goes back several weeks. Okay. This question. So, because we aren't running furnaces now, hopefully. We aren't here, I know. But the question was, when my furnace runs, I smell fumes in my cellar. Lately, I've had headaches and nausea when I'm at home. Could this be carbon monoxide? The furnace guy is coming this week to check it out. I assume he's already been there.
I would hope. Well, probably... Yes, could it be carbon monoxide? Yes, but remember, carbon monoxide is odorless. And colorless and
right,
yada yada. So you could also get headaches and all that kind of stuff from carbon dioxide.
Yep.
And so if your chimney was blocked, if you're smelling fumes, It's more likely it's a matter that the chimney is blocked.
Yep.
And yeah, it could be carbon monoxide, but yeah, that definitely needs to be checked. But it sounds like they had somebody coming, so that
Yeah, it did.
good. But yes, carbon monoxide can cause headaches. Carbon dioxide is also a common cause of headaches and fatigue. And then carbon dioxide, by the way, can kill you just as well as carbon monoxide.
Carbon dioxide can?
Yep. CO2 can too. Yeah, you get too high. That was one of the problems. You remember in Apollo 13 when the module blew up? And
Yeah.
they had
Yes, I do.
Okay, well, the big problem was they had plenty of oxygen. The problem was they didn't have any way to scrub the carbon dioxide out of the air. And they had to rig up a system using parts from the lunar module, which thank God they still had, because otherwise they would have all died up there from carbon dioxide.
Okay, here's a question for you. Circling back, in the words of Jen Psaki, what is the is a symptom of too much carbon dioxide? Is it lightheadedness?
It's lightheadedness, fatigue, headache, eventually confusion, and then you get carbon dioxide narcosis. In other words, you go to sleep.
Okay.
And then at some point your body can't get rid of enough carbon dioxide, and game over.
Okay. Well, here's and the reason I ask is this. I've had, I can't tell you how many people have told me that they get really, really lightheaded wearing masks.
That's not from carbon dioxide. I'll tell you what, you know what it is with masks? Well, the people who get lightheaded wearing masks are more likely getting lightheaded because when people have a mask on, they tend to hyperventilate.
Okay.
They breathe faster because they feel like, they feel like they think they're not getting as much air as they should.
Right.
It's just a matter of getting accustomed to wearing the mask.
But
most people get lightheaded wearing a mask because they're hyperventilating.
But isn't there some buildup, especially if you hyperventilate? No. Isn't there some buildup of
not in any kind of mask? There should be no buildup of carbon dioxide,
including like even in N95.
Even in an N95.
Huh.
Gases will diffuse through there very easily.
All right. So CO2 molecules are smaller than virus.
No.
Then,
well, yeah. Technically, yes. Yeah, I mean, it depends on. Yeah, physically, yes.
Okay.
There can be some charge issues with carbon dioxide attaching itself to stuff, but not in a mask. There's nothing there for it to attach to in a mask. Yeah.
Now, when you hyperventilate into a bag, is that you're taking in nothing but CO2?
Right. Now you have a closed system.
Okay.
The same air you're breathing into the bag is going back into your lungs.
All right.
And then see, that's the difference. A mask is not a closed system.
All right. Okay. I do. Yeah. I had a question about it. Shannon asks, and this is, this is a question I've had, and I still have, and I think I know what your opinion is, but it's a question. Shannon asks, why do you feel the need to give away incentives to get the vaccination? Hidden agenda. And that's, this is, I'm sorry, but this is where my head's at too. And I got the vaccine, despite the fact I'm very wary about what the government's doing. I really am. And I'm not saying that any of the physicians or any of the medical personnel have anything but the best desired outcome for anybody. I'm not saying that at all. What I am saying is I do not trust the government as far as I can throw the house I'm sitting in right now. So, but potential, hidden agenda, potential. I'm not accusing. I'm just asking.
What do you say to that? I mean,
yeah, okay, all right.
This kind of straw man paranoia is just ridiculous. The only thing the government's trying to do is save your life.
Allegedly.
There's a lot of things I don't think the government's trying to do to save my life. However, with the steps that were taken to fast track and develop a vaccine, get the vaccine out there and get people vaccinated against this disease is remarkable. And I think that I don't see it as a way of, I mean, worried about using it as a way to control people. I mean, that's just such. I'm sorry. It's just hallucinational nonsense. It is, at least in my opinion. Okay, that's my opinion.
Okay, yeah, no, that's fine. No, that's why I asked.
From a medical standpoint, the vaccine, the development of this vaccine, I think, is clearly, I think, a triumph for medicine and for trying to get it out there and get people vaccinated and save lives.
Right.
You look at it. If you take the 67,000 plus cases of COVID in this state, plus the 29 deaths.
Yep.
That's still about a 1.4% death rate from people who have been infected, which is higher than the flu. And that's not insignificant. So if we of the people who have are left, if we're saving 1% of them, that's good enough for me.
All right. But you do understand, and I know you understand, that there are a lot of doctors who are right in agreement with you, but then there are a lot of doctors who think there are ulterior motives. And and John, these aren't mutually exclusive. I mean,
John,
yes.
The fact that not every doctor is a rational human being either.
Oh, correct. No, I agree.
Okay.
I agree.
So, I mean, there's a lot of doctors out there proposing a lot of nonsense. And those people have been, it's just like the difference between mainstream and fringe society. I mean, it's the same thing. I mean, there's nothing, the fact that someone has a medical degree doesn't make them somehow immune from being a little off.
Oh, right. No, I agree. But I mean, some of Dr. Fauci is prima facie evidence that, not everybody is on the up and up. Not everybody who is purported to be the most respected physician in a certain field is all they are cracked up to be. Dr. Fauci has now finally he's had to sort of give in a little bit on the fact that he helped fund the lab that allegedly created the Wuhan virus with gain of function research. Finally, he has had to come out and say that, well, it could have been released intentionally. He would not even, in fact, we were all called, and this rubs me, we were all called conspiracy theorists. We were dismissed as idiots a year ago when I started saying this. And now all of a sudden, it seems like the New York Times and CNN and MSNBC, not the Washington Post, unfortunately, are starting to eat a little bit of crow and saying, well, they aren't saying they were wrong. They're just not even mentioning that they were on the other side before, saying, well, the virus looks like it may have come from the lab and may have been released intentionally. So, who do you believe in this world?
Hold it. The one report that I heard didn't say anything about intentional release. What they said is they believe that there were there are at least two researchers at that lab that became sick in November of 2019, and who, with an illness that was never determined. I think the likely thing, and I said this way back when, I said the likely thing is what happened is because it's not unheard of, but it's very unusual for viruses to jump species and at least establish themselves as infectious as it did right away. I mean, it's not, there are illnesses called zoonoses, which happen, illnesses that usually affect animals that will affect humans, but usually not in an epidemic or pandemic type of way. Well, I said way back when that I think what happened is that there was an accident in a lab there, and that things got released. Now, that is basically what they've said, and they want to investigate that further. What's happening is the problem is the Chinese have not been very forthcoming with the data and the information about what actually happened.
Correct.
So, but then everybody jumps on the bandwagon right away that it was some kind of, the conspiracy theorists start with the idea that it was somehow intentional.
Well,
I doubt it was intentional.
Okay,
but I do believe that somebody screwed up
Yeah.
big time, and that something got out of the lab. I just think it's time to come. Let's come clean. Let's figure out exactly what happened, and that gives us a chance to try to maybe even get better treatment and coverage for this virus by knowing exactly what did happen and what modifications were made, and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Because that'll give us a better chance. I don't know if you remember the show The Last Ship. Did you ever watch that show?
The Last Ship.
Yeah, it
No.
was on. Oh God, which channel was it on? I think it was on. Was it an A&E show? Anyway, it was about a bunch of people who were going out to look at. There was an illness that got released into the world and spread throughout the world. And at the time, what they did is they were trying to go back to where this virus was originally found, so they could get the original source virus, because that was the best way to try to make a vaccine. And so that's part of the way. That's part of the thinking about trying to figure out exactly what happened, is that there may be a way, if we know what the original source was and what modifications were made, we may be able to better direct vaccine treatment.
Now there is a doctor who fled China. She was a virologist. Her name is Dr. Li Meng Yan. I don't know if you've heard of her.
Yeah, I think the name is familiar, but go ahead.
Okay, well, she was asked. Stay with me here. I've got the audio. I want you to hear it. She was. Hold on. Nothing ever works the way you want it to. All right. So she was asked, was the virus, she said it was created. She said it was created, and she's worked with, she had inside information. She worked with the virology lab, and she also worked with Hong Kong Institute. And she was asked, was the virus released intentionally? And this is what she said.
Yes, of course, it's intentionally. And even no need more evidence, you already can see what they try to cover up from the early beginning, as I reviewed in different medias before, and also what else they have done, like making the fabricated virus to throw out the natural origin theory, censorship, every evidence point to the lab origins, and also clearly try to make people like me want to talk about the truth get disappeared.
In other words, yeah, this has happened. People have disappeared in China for trying to speak the truth. She fled China to the United States, and now she's saying, yes, of course it was intentional and conspiracy. And I have zero trust. Honest to God, I have zero trust in the left wing of our government and in any wing of the Chinese Communist Party and the liars and the World Health Organization, which we just rejoined with the unbelievably corrupt pal of Xi Jinping, Dr. Tedros, in there. And so we are now a member in good standing with the WHO, and this is the kind of stuff that's coming out of China from people who got away and are safe finally.
Yeah, the only problem is, and I realize that it may be difficult to find this because, as you say, people disappear. But before I accept the one person saying yes, it was definitely intentional, I need to know what backs that up. What backs up the fact that it was intentional? I think it's far more likely that it was the fact that there was a mistake made in the lab that got the virus that let the genie out of the bottle. It's far more likely.
All right.
Because you're not. I mean,
well, obviously it's one. I'll be the first to admit it's one person, but
because the reason I say that is if it was intentionally released from the lab, why would they make the one area? Why was the area around the lab itself the most hard hit initially? If you were going to intentionally release something from a lab to try to create a problem, you'd send the virus to where you wanted it to cause trouble, not let it get out into the immediate area around the lab.
No, I get that. No, that's true.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so that's why I'm thinking more likely it was a boo-boo.
It was a mistake. Yeah. I just wanted to present that. We now know that back in November of 2020, 3 scientists got severely ill with a COVID-like virus who worked in the lab. 3.
It was November 2019.
Right. 2019. 2019.
Yeah. Remember?
I thought it was November 9th.
I said to you a long time ago. Remember? At that time, I was still working up in
Newport.
No, I was still working up in Franklin.
Yeah.
And I said that year we saw a lot of flu. We saw a lot of people we thought had the flu, but we couldn't prove it.
Okay.
And I'm still wondering. What that was all about.
Right. No. Okay. 2019. Yeah. I'm sorry. My mind. A year ahead of what you. Of course. It had to have been 2019 because 2020 is when we started the lockdowns. I'm sorry, I spaced for a minute. Right. November of 2019.
Correct.
These people became very, very sick, and not a word.
And they were not able to determine what the cause was.
But there was no warning given, and people started to get sick in and around Wuhan. And the WHO stayed silent on this whole thing.
Right. And I think it's because what happened is, and I really think what happened is they had a lab accident. These guys got sick because they went to hospitals. It got out into the community. Once it got out into the community and it was recognized what had happened, the WHO was basically told to shut up, is what happened by the Chinese. Because you have to remember, Chinese culture is very big on, I'm not playing any value judgment here, rightly or wrongly. It's a cultural thing. When things like this happen, a lot of Asian cultures, there's this concept of saving face and not admitting error, that you don't admit error. And I think that's what drove a lot of it. And I think if people had been more forthcoming at the very beginning, a lot of what happened may have been able to be stopped. But you know what? That's all water under the bridge now. What are we going to do about it? The main thing is if we can find out what the original source virus was and how that virus was modified, we may be able to better direct our treatments and therapies. And that's all that matters at this point. What they did or didn't do or how they covered up or whatever, who cares at this point? I mean, we can't go back and change it. We could try to make it better.
We need to prevent it from happening in the future. And I just had somebody, Laurie just sent a message. And this is something I sort of subscribe to. The CCP unleashed a biological weapon upon the world. And the only reason I believe that or have a tendency toward that is that we know China wants world domination. And now we have a government, a sitting president who isn't all there, but he has plenty of people pushing him as puppeteers who want to enable that to happen, apparently, and, become part of the new globalist society, the Great Reset, as John Kerry and Joe Biden and Kamala Harris have called it. And it just, I'm sorry, when it comes to COVID-19, you and I guess, are always going to be on different pages. But that's just the way it is.
Let me just throw one thing out here for you.
Okay.
Who in their right mind would release? Well, maybe that's the problem. But who in their right mind would release the virus as a biological weapon for which they had no defense against?
Or did they? I mean, do we know they had no defense?
Well, apparently not, because they didn't do anything for any of their people.
How many people in the government got sick and died?
I don't know. I don't know the answer. You know what? They probably won't tell us.
No, well, that's true too.
Yeah, see, so that's the problem. We can't. But all I know is if I was going to release a biological weapon, I'd make doggone sure that there was some way to protect my own people.
Yeah, well, we have to look at what China thinks of their own people, and they don't have very high regard for their own people. So there is that. I'm
just saying.
Okay, no, I get it.
I think it's more likely what happened. It was a horrific accident. That the people got infected. The genie got out of the bottle because these guys wound up going to the hospital in the local community. It got into the community, and that was game over.
According to Wikipedia, there were 4,636 deaths in China. And there's over 3 billion people in China?
Right, but don't forget, China did something that we could never get away with here. They basically isolated Wuhan. Nobody in, nobody out, and shut it down. I mean, they just shut it down. And if you look at most of those deaths were in Wuhan.
Yeah. I don't know. This is okay. I mean, we'll just have to agree to disagree. I am so very suspect about this. So very suspect. I think we're in a world of trouble, and I think COVID-19 is a vehicle that they have used and are using to further, push their agenda, push their power onto the rest of us. There were 91,000 cases, and I understand what you're saying about they closed off Wuhan. But still, 91,000 cases? You mean nobody was able to get it? Really? Nobody got in or out? Nobody went anywhere to infect somebody who would infect somebody? 91,000 cases.
Obviously, people did get out because they got out to the world.
Yeah,
that was
right.
Before, but once they shut it down, it didn't really spread in China. And don't forget, people in China don't really travel around in China that much.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know much about that. I really don't know a lot about the culture. I know more about the government. This is all very interesting, to be sure. And I don't know. I'm sleeping with one eye open when it comes to the Chinese. I'm telling you right now. And I'm not talking. And I always say this. I don't know why people know. I'm not talking about the Chinese people. I'm talking about the government, which is tyrannical and evil and corrupt. And that's why, I'm not going to put anything past them, and I'm not going to give them a pass on this until there is proof positive. And, and the thing is, I don't want to go there with you, because we could literally have a nice conversation all day, and it would be civil. But I wouldn't put it past certain people within our government, knowing that COVID-19 is on its way, because I also know that Donald Trump was president at the time when it came here. And I also know that the Democrats, the left, would stop at absolutely nothing, zero, to get him out of office. And this is all part of the grand scheme, I believe. And I know that sounds very conspiratorial, and I hope we don't find out someday that old Johnny Boy was right. But I've been right about quite a bit this last year, and I guess I'm patting myself on the back.
Well, I mean, if you're right about that, it's absolutely treason, and some people need to hang for it. But I can't believe that.
Yeah, I know, and neither can a lot of the people in my personal circles. But I hold on to that, and there are people who. Some people are actually more militant about it than I am. Believe it or not. Anyway, we're out of time.
Imagine that.
I know, but geez, I sure do enjoy the discussion, as always.
Well, and as we always say, it's a discussion. We're talking to each other rather than at each other.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Which is much better.
It is. Oh, I agree. I absolutely agree with you. And as always, I appreciate your time. I'm sorry we didn't get to more questions. None came up that I could see here. There have been a lot of comments, but none came up that I could see that dealt with any questions of a timely nature today. So I've got a bunch in the bank that we'll get to the next time, maybe, depending on what happens. But as always, I appreciate your time, Dr. G.
Well, and as always, be careful and be respectful out there.
Absolutely. All right, buddy. All right, sir. You have a great day. I'll talk to you next week, buddy, and say hi to your wife, and good luck with your pup Candy there, okay?
I will do that.
All right, sir. Thank you, Dr. G. Bye-bye. Bye now. Dr. John Garofalo, a retired, I had been saying recently retired. It dawned on me that it's been almost 2 years now. We've been almost 2 years we've been doing this thing. The guy's, wow, what a trooper. Hanging in there with me for 2 years. So he's a retired PCP and ER doc here with us every Wednesday at about 9:30. And you can always email us at mail@thevoiceguy.net, john@mixmain.com, or just drop a question on one of our platforms during the feed. We'll be right back after the news. I'm John James.
WSKW, Legacy 1160.
Sales and service by a family who cares. Whittemore and Sons, Whittemore and Sons.
There are some things you can simply never depend on, like a perfectly cooked meal from the microwave. Will it be hot or will it be cold? There's only one way to find out. But know that you can always count on Whittemore & Sons in our line of Coyote tractors. Coyote tractors are machines made to work, whether it's mowing, tilling, digging, lifting, or hauling. Check out the full line of tough and versatile Coyote tractors, attachments, implements, and accessories at Whittemore & Sons, your Coyote tractor dealer, with dependable sales in service for over 50 years. Run ahead of the pack with a Coyote tractor from Whittemore & Sons on the Waterville Road in Skowhegan. Sales and service by a family who cares.
From work to fun, we'll help you get it done. Whittemore & Sons, outdoor power equipment.
Hi, this is Teresa Smith, Director of Advising at Kennebec Valley Community College. There's no denying that the past year has been one of challenges and uncertainty. Many of you have had to change or even postpone your educational plans. Still, by working together and caring for one another, things in Maine are looking up. We're getting back to normal, and no one could be happier about this than the faculty and staff at KVCC. With a wide variety of online summer classes available, you don't have to wait to join us. You can get started right away while continuing to stay safe. Whether you're a student home for the summer who wants to pick up a few classes at an affordable price, or a high school graduate hoping to get a jump on college, our multiple summer start dates offer something for everyone. Financial aid is available, and high school juniors and seniors may even qualify for a free summer course. A list of classes and start dates can be found on our website at kvcc.me.edu, or you can call the admissions team at 453-5822. That's 453-KVCC.
I'm CBS 13 meteorologist Lexi O'Connor. Partly to mostly sunny, hot, and humid today. With late day thunderstorms developing for this evening, some may become strong to severe with the potential for damage and winds. Highs will be in the mid-80s to low 90s, 70s along the mid-coast. Mostly sunny 70s and less humid tomorrow. Mostly cloudy, cooler, low 60s Friday.
From the Home Auto Group Studios, Farmington Ford and Franklin Chrysler in Farmington. This is WSKW, Skowhegan, Augusta, Waterville, Legacy 1160.
ABC News, I'm Elizabeth Schulze. Word coming this morning that former Virginia Senator John Warner has died. He was a former Navy secretary, once married to Elizabeth Taylor, and was 94 years old. George Floyd's family was at the White House yesterday as work continues on that police reform bill in Congress.
Bipartisan negotiators up on the Hill say a framework is emerging. They told the family members that they think they're closer than they've ever been before, that this is a matter of weeks. The bill on the table would ban police chokeholds, eliminate the use of no-knock warrants, create a national registry of police misconduct. But the big sticking point here is still this question over legal protections for police officers. One thing both sides definitely do agree on, a bill will be named in George Floyd's honor.
ABC senior White House correspondent Mary Bruce. The Manhattan DA's office seating a special grand jury to consider evidence in a criminal investigation into former President Trump's business dealings. This is ABC News. Sitting on the desk of the governor of Texas, a bill to try and force more sports teams to play the national anthem before games. ABC's Jim Ryan.
Singing the Star Spangled Banner, Gladys Knight.
Gladys Knight sang the national anthem at the last NBA All-Star game as Dallas Mavericks owner Mark Cuban wrestled with a question inside his team's home arena.
How do you express the voices of those who feel the anthem doesn't represent them or causes them consternation?
Cuban on ESPN in February. The Mavs quit playing the anthem for a short time, drawing the ire of the Texas legislature, which has passed a bill stripping state funds from pro sports teams that don't play the Star Spangled Banner before their games. Jim Ryan, ABC News, Dallas.
An 80-year-old record in baseball broken, and it didn't have anything to do with a player. Umpire Joe West now holds the record for officiating the most games ever after working a game in Chicago between the White Sox and the St. Louis Cardinals. Elizabeth Schulze, ABC News.
I'm one of thousands of women with metastatic breast cancer, or MBC, which is breast cancer that has spread to other parts of the body. I'm living in the moment and taking Ibrance, palbociclib.
Ibrance 125 milligram tablets with an aromatase inhibitor is for postmenopausal women or for men with HR-positive, HER2-negative MBC as the first hormonal-based therapy.
Be in your moment. Ask your doctor about Ibrance and visit Ibrance.com.
Ibrance may cause low white blood cell counts that may lead to serious infections. Ibrance may cause severe inflammation of the lungs. Both of these can lead to death. Tell your doctor right away if you have new or worsening symptoms, including trouble breathing, shortness of breath, cough, or chest pain. Before taking Ibrance, tell your doctor if you have fever, chills, or other signs of infection, liver or kidney problems, are or plan to become pregnant, or are breastfeeding. Common side effects include low red blood cell and low platelet counts, infections, tiredness, nausea, sore mouth, abnormalities in liver blood tests, diarrhea, hair thinning or loss, vomiting, rash, and loss of appetite.
Good morning. Welcome back. Legacy 1160. Maine's Heritage Station. I'm John James. Freedom's Pep Rally is brought to you by the Gun Shop on Coney Circle in Augusta. Speaking of Augusta, I haven't heard back from House Speaker Ryan Fecteau, the dictator-in-chief there of the state of Maine. I guess he, Troy Jackson, and Janet Mills must be like the Three Musketeers now. They must be so proud of themselves. So proud of themselves because they are now running the state. One-party rule. They are ruling as a single party now. The Democrats in Maine are a single party. It's Troy, Janet, Ryan, the rest of you be damned. Troy, Janet, Ryan, and the Democratic caucus. Republicans, we don't need no stinking Republicans. If you are a Republican, you will be punished.
But at the end of the day, that's the policy we have in place. I expect our members to follow that policy.
As punishment, Speaker Fecteau stripped all 7 of their legislative committees, which means they can't participate in the committee meetings where bills are debated and worked on with public input.
Oh, yeah, Dr. Shah, thank you. Thank you, Laurie. Oh, and Lambrew, DHS Commissioner Lambrew. Good Lord. I mean, we are full of them. Full of tyrants. I don't know if Dr. Shah set out to be a tyrant. He seems like a pretty nice guy. He's been on the radios. I haven't talked to him. He's been on the radio station before. But they seem to be listening to him. I think he's making the decisions behind the scenes there for Tyrant Mills. But you got to call Fecteau's office because he is punishing Maine. He's not punishing representatives. What is this man-child thinking? What is he thinking? Well, I'm going to punish them. They don't comply with the mask mandate. I will punish them. Who's he punishing? He's not punishing them. He is Don't make no mistake about this. Listen to me and listen to me good. He is punishing the people they represent. That's you and I. That's you and me. That's us, baby. He's not punishing them. He's punishing us because they took their own liberty and wore a mask. I don't care about any stinking rules. You don't take away representation from the people because you get your panties in a bunch. Speaker Fecto. I got a name for him. I've got a good name for him. Feckless Fecto. Feckless Fecto. Not a clue about representative government. Not a clue. Giving him the majority was like handing a book of matches to a 3-year-old and putting him in a paper mill. Three-year-old would have had more sense, though. All right, let me see. I just got a text. Waiting for a... We might have a sudden... No, we don't. Okay. Yeah, I know, Mike. I know. Thank you. I did know that. Am I being too mean? I'm asking my friend Mike. Mike has his fingers on the pulse of Maine. Am I being too mean here? He didn't say I was being mean, by the way, but I always like his input. He's my compadre. He's the guy I go to with questions about my own sanity. 10:14 on Legacy 1160 WSKW. Coming up at... Hold on. Okay. Okay. Point taken. So, where's it going to? The number, 207-287-1300. 207-287-1300. High school baseball today, Waterville at Lawrence. I think 4 o'clock, right, Mike? I could go to the Facebook. You can get all the whole schedule right there at our Facebook page, legacy1160.com. It's always right up top, and you can check it out there all the time. I'm going to go to it right now, but we've got all the high school sports. We've got it right here on Legacy. We are your local sports leader. It's 4 o'clock. It's baseball. It's Waterville at Lawrence in Fairfield. So you can hear the radio. If you can't get to the game, you can hear it on the radio right here. We need to get you out here to Erskine Academy, Mike. They're playing ball up here at Erskine now, and I'd like to go watch a game with you calling it, to be honest with you. Maybe there's one on the schedule. Maybe I should open my eyeballs. It's 10:15 right now. Anyway, coming up at 10 o'clock this morning, we have a special guest. We have a great guest who I am looking forward to having on. He is an author. And his name is Scott McEwen. He co-authored the book, American Sniper. And you remember that was about Chris Kyle, the Navy SEAL. There's a movie made about it. True story. Chris Kyle ended up losing his life at a shooting range. A very, very sad story. A great read. A good book. Trying to see if... no, that's... I have no idea if that's a guest or not. I don't think it is. No, we're gonna say no. We're gonna say no to that. Okay, I apologize for that. 10:16 on Legacy 1160 WSKW. So Scott McEwen, his new book is called Hell Week and Beyond, The Making of a Navy SEAL. And it ought to be great to have him on. And I'm curious to know a little bit more about his dealings with Chris Kyle, the American Sniper. And this book it interviews a bunch of Navy SEALs. I'm wondering if he talked to Dan Crenshaw. He's the Navy SEAL who lost an eye. Yeah, the Texas congressman. So we'll ask that and more. If you have any questions, by the way, by all means, send them in. You can private message me or you can post them right on social media. And I will try to not miss them and get them on. All right. Now, where do we start? There is a lot to get to, and we don't have a lot of time to get to it this morning. Let's talk about George Floyd Day. George, can you believe this? They were saying on mainstream media, they were saying on the main CBS, or I forget which one it was, which one I saw it, they were saying they were having moments of silence, 9-minute moments of silence to honor George Floyd. Okay, to remember the incident, I get that. 9 minutes, he was pinned down by Derek Chauvin. 9 minutes to remember what happened. Totally get that. Totally. 9 minutes to honor a convicted felon who was in the process of committing a crime, maybe a petty crime, I don't know, passing counterfeit money at the time. Honor? But that's where we are in our society. We honor the dishonorable and we excoriate the honorable. You don't? No, I'm not making that up. You know it as well as I do. The left knows it. Even the left knows it. They probably are okay with it, but they know it. They know how dishonorable the people who get honored today are. In Oregon, we were trying to get in touch with K-Soak. She had something else going on this morning. Of course, 3 hours time difference there, too. So I guess we're not going to be able to get her on today, but we'll get her on sometime. It was last minute. She lives in Portland, Oregon. She is a police officer's wife. Police in Portland declared last night a riot. There were arrests after rioters smashed windows and threw objects at police to honor George Floyd. Now, this has been going on for well over a year. I mean, this lets up occasionally. But this is what they call Tuesday night in Portland now. But this was extra special because they were remembering George Floyd. Some people in the crowd also threw frozen water bottles and eggs at police, along with metal spikes on the road. At one point, fireworks were set off. An unlawful assembly was declared at around 9:25 last night. Police used loudspeakers to demand those in the crowd refrain from engaging in criminal activity, including vandalism and arson. Around 11 o'clock, though, police targeted arrests were made for some people who are engaged in criminal activity. Still going on. Portland, Oregon, to honor George Floyd. So, George Floyd Day, it was yesterday. George Floyd Day, the racist killing. Oh, whoa, wait a minute. Wait a minute. No, it wasn't a racist killing. So why all the riots? Why all the ceremonies? Why was Al Sharpton out speaking yesterday to remember George Floyd? Why? It wasn't racist. Well, it was too. Derek Chauvin was white. It was racist. Well, then I shouldn't be saying anything because I'm lily white. Just like the lily white projectors, the racial, what do they call them? What do they call them? I forget what they actually call them, but they are projecting the white race as if they were black, saying, well, there is systemic racism. There is a white privilege. This is white people saying these things. I've had people ain't not friends. They aren't friends. Believe me, they aren't friends. People who think like that, who have the mental incapacity to think like a logical human being, they aren't my friends. I don't associate with them. I'll talk to them. I don't associate with them. But I'm not going to project my white self onto this situation. In fact, no, I'm going to let a black man do it. Oh, but if he's conservative, he can't be black. Again, from the whites. From Joe Biden. If you're a conservative, you can't be black because they are the keepers of race. The whites, Joe Biden, and all the virtue signaling projectors of their whiteness, they are the keepers of race. They will tell black people if they're being kept down. They will tell white people if they are white supremacists. They are the ones. Your pasty white virtue signaling friends. They're the ones telling you how to think. So yesterday, Joe Biden invited the Floyd family into the White House because naturally, he and Kamala Harris and company have to keep alive the narrative that this was all about systemic racism in policing. Right? Wrong. No, it wasn't. No. Black civil rights attorney. He was a Democrat right up until last year. He was a hardcore lefty right up until last year when he says, basically, you know what Leo Terrell said? He basically, this guy, he's a civil rights attorney. He marched in the civil rights marches in the 60s. This guy's been there. He was all about it. And he said, the Democrats, they're out of their freaking minds. So here you have a black guy, a Democrat, a lefty, a liberal, saying, the Democrats, no, thank you. And he did what most people should do. He did what many blacks on the left are now saying, that he walked away. He walked away. I have a friend, Sydney, who walked away, Sydney Standard. We've had her on the phone before. And we'll try to get her on again. So Leo Terrell was on Fox News. Leo 2.0. I love this guy. And Ainsley Earhart asked Leo Terrell, a year after George Floyd's killing, where are we?
I'll tell you exactly where we are, Ainsley. We're racially divided. And you know why? Because the George Floyd case has been used to play the race card. I want to be very clear because of these facts are very important. In the murder case, it was a murder case involving the death of George Floyd. Not once was race mentioned in that courtroom. And the officer was found guilty. You can't tell that to the Democrats. They have used the George Floyd case as an example that white officers are out to kill black suspects, as if it's the 1940s and 1950s. That is a lie. The Biden administration has seized upon that, invited the George Floyd family into the White House, but they ignore black on black crime. They ignore David Dorn, a retired police officer who was murdered during the summer riots. They play the race card to give this false image that there is a war on black men by the police department. That is a lie.
Okay. All right. Where are the pasty white virtue signaling lefties now? Leo Terrell's not black, right? Even though he was a Democrat most of his life. Even though he's a civil rights attorney, school teacher, radio host. So he's no longer, he can't be black anymore, right? He can't have a black perspective because he's telling the truth. If you speak the truth in this country, if you speak the truth, you're canceled. They cannot stand truth. They stand for and echo lies. That's their thing. They make up a narrative and they echo it. And the people who think they're intelligent, who think they're educated, are the dumbest people on the planet for not seeing it. They think they are intellectual. They are not. And I don't care. Sorry, piece of an apple. You're watching on screen. I apologize for that. I just blew a piece of apple out of I had the first chance I get to eat. So I don't care if you're a doctor, you're a lawyer. I don't care if you're a school teacher or a brain surgeon. You can be book smart. You can be brain smart, but you can still be an idiot when it comes to following narratives. Just because you're smart doesn't mean you're objective. It doesn't mean you have common sense. It doesn't mean you even understand the American model, the experiment that has been going on for 244 some odd years now, by the way. In case you haven't been counting, I have. So Anthony Blinken, he's our Secretary of State. I knew it was going to be good when he came in. Anthony Blinken. The fact the world is now laughing at us should come as no surprise to anyone who's paid attention to the Biden-Harris clown show for, 4.5 months now. Part of that circus is a man by the name of Tony Blinken. Tony Blinken is the Secretary of State. So he made sure to release a statement excoriating a country he really doesn't like very much. What country would that be, John? Well, that would be America. In fact, Tony Blinken, our Secretary of, believe it or not, he's our Secretary of State. He's telling the world America's racist. If we're a racist country, how come so many people of color are risking their lives to get in here? Why? If we're that racist, Tony, you moron. Yeah, he's a moron. He's another one of these lefty morons. We've got to work the narrative. Doesn't matter if it makes sense or not. Doesn't matter if it makes sense to freedom or the Constitution or the Declaration or the Founding Fathers' principles or morality or anything else. It's the narrative. The narrative is the narrative. We've got to push the narrative. Tony Blinken. So he pushes the narrative. America's a racist country. So he authorized U.S. embassies around the world to fly Black Lives Matter flags to honor the criminal who died 1 year ago, who is now seen by many on the left as a martyr. Perfect. The narrative is working perfectly for the left, isn't it? So here's Anthony Blinken's well-produced, embarrassing statement that was released yesterday, and it's just a head shaker, but I want you to hear it.
For the United States to be a credible force for human rights around the world, we have to face the realities of racism and hatred here at home.
Racism and hatred.
We can't sweep our shortcomings under the rug
right.
or pretend they don't exist. We need to face them openly and honestly, even if that's ugly, even if that's painful. That's how we live up to our values.
No, that's how we drive the wedge between people, Tony Blinken. You're an idiot. You're a moron. Another person who I swear, I am smarter than every one of them in the Biden administration. I could replace any one of them. You name the position, I could replace them, and I'd do a hell of a lot better, but I wouldn't want the job. These people are idiots. They're driving a wedge between us. Now they're out there telling the world we're racist, we're full of racial tension and hate. We've got to face those facts. Well, at least we're not being led into concentration camps because of our religion and killed Uyghur Muslims, China. Oh, but no, that's Joe Biden says, that's just a cultural difference. China, no, I'm not going to ask President Xi about that. That's cultural differences. Yeah, Hitler. Oh, well, no, Hitler, let Hitler be Hitler. It's just cultural differences. The Nazis and, that's your president. Aren't you proud of your president? Where are the Muslims? Where is America? Where are the leftist Americans calling out for a little justice for the genocide that's going on in China? They are silent because China is their buddy. China gets a pass on killing Muslims. We can't even say anything about Ilhan Omar without being called xenophobic, but they can kill and rape and sterilize Muslim women in China. Crickets. The left is mentally ill. It's a mental illness. Don't forget it. They don't think right. or properly. So Candace Owens, she's another black who's not black because she's conservative. I love the way they do it. I love the way they call you racist if you say anything about Obama or anybody on the left. But as soon as you bring up a black conservative as, well, they aren't really black. Ha! They laugh. Oh, Candace Owens. Ha! Well, last I checked, she lives in the inner city, and she is black, and she is conservative. But they hate her. Well, then they're racist. You hate Candace Owens. If you're going to put down Candace Owens, then sorry, lefty, you're racist. You are a big fat old racist. I am not. Nobody else will call you that. Nobody else will say you're a big fat old racist. I will. You are a racist. Candace Owens is an exceptional American. She's a mother, and she is very outspoken. And they can't stand it, so they try to cancel her at every turn. That is racist. Here's a black woman who has made something of herself, because in America, you can. But they don't want you to know that. They want to keep people oppressed, you see. So whenever there's somebody black who's doing well, the left, not the right, the left wants to push them down and keep them out of the public eye and excoriate them because they go against the narrative. They prove that anybody can be somebody in America, and we can't allow that to get out. And this is how they do it. They demonize anybody they don't like, regardless of skin color or ethnicity or anything else. So Candace Owens was on Fox with Tucker the other night. He pointed out that all other countries are laughing at us right now. How many times have I said that? It's true. They were saying they were laughing at us when Donald Trump was in office. No, they weren't. You didn't see any attacks by Hamas during the Trump administration, did you? You saw terrorists being taken out without them even expecting it under the Trump administration, didn't you? There was respect. We call that respect. Now, lefties, now they're laughing at us. Now they are guffawing at us, because they see the pinheads who are so-called leaders in Washington right now, and they're saying, oh, what a joke this is. Let's launch some attacks against Israel. What else is going to happen? Let's shut down the pipeline. The Centennial, Russia. No, now they're laughing at us, as Tucker Carlson and I have pointed out for a long time. So what about BLM? What about the BLM flags at the embassies? What exactly, Candace Owens, are they celebrating?
The U.S. embassies are celebrating Black Death. The consequence of the Black Lives Matter movement, and I cringe when people call it Black Lives Matter protests, because you know what, Tucker, it is Black Lives Matter riots. The cities burned for 6 weeks straight following the death of George Floyd. Black neighborhoods were rioted, they were looted, and it led to more Black death. Way more Black Americans died during the Black Lives Matter riots than the one Black American that was killed by a police officer that allegedly started this entire spree. And it really makes you ask questions. Why is America promoting this so much? Why is America promoting Black Lives Matter, which is a corporation, right? So think of it as a corporation. Black Lives Matter raises money, and it's dark money, Tucker, because nobody knows where the money goes. So why would the U.S. government stand behind that? Where's the due diligence here? If the U.S. State Department is going to stand behind this, shouldn't the U.S. State Department also issue maybe a memo out to let us know where the money's going? Wouldn't that be the responsible thing, since Joe Biden wants to give billions more dollars to the IRS so they can take billions more from American taxpayers? Maybe he can also invest some of that money going to the IRS to look into Black Lives Matter and tell us where the money's going. I think they know where the money's going, and I think if they don't want us to look into it, there is a reason they have been promoting Black Lives Matter from the start. And it's definitely not because they want to save Black lives, because Black Lives Matter, the movement and the incorporation, leads to more Black death. That much is indisputable.
Indisputable. Candace, we got to demonize her. Come on, let's demonize Candace Owens. She's speaking truth. We can't allow that to get out. The organization Black Lives Matter is not for Black lives. They're killing Black people. They are. They're not giving money to Black people. They aren't. See this hat I've got on, Black Guns Matter? I had some white virtue signaling nut job tell me it was racist. I said, really? Say, yeah, that's racist. I didn't correct him. I just walked away. And I laughed. Under my breath, I laughed. Because they're ignorant. They are ignorant. Everything's knee-jerk with the left. They don't bother looking into things. They don't bother investigating, researching. They don't. Knee-jerk. Oh, white cop killed a black guy. Riot! Rob liquor stores, rob Targets, destroy police stations, occupy cities. What? A year later, we find out it wasn't racist? As Leo Terrell said, race was not brought up one time in the trial? Isn't that interesting? In Portland, they're still rioting over George Floyd because race, apparently they didn't get the memo. Yeah, big riot last night in Portland, Oregon. Protest in Portland, Maine. Peaceful, I guess. 10:38. So, back to Candace Owens. BLM was founded by Marxist organizers. We know that. Patrisse Cullors is a Marxist. They basically, here's what they do. Here's the BLM model. They steal money from people they purport to help. And they build mansions and beachfront property for themselves. True. You look it up. Follow the money. At least that's what co-founder Patrisse Cullors did. She got a mansion in an all-white area of California in a ritzy neighborhood. A multi-million-dollar mansion in a mostly white neighborhood. She bought with BLM donations. She got another place she was looking at in the Bahamas. She got 3 or 4 places. Patrisse Cullors, Marxist founder of BLM. Where's she getting the money? Well, from the oppressed people. Literally. From the oppressed people and from the big corporations who support BLM, who support the lie. Major League Baseball, basketball, they all support the lie. They all support the lie. They put the signs up. They put the road paint down on the court. So BLM, we know, is a Marxist organization that solicits money under false pretenses and downplays the importance of the nuclear family. And Candace Owens, much to their dismay, explains why.
If you believe in Karl Marx's ideologies, if you believe in Marxism, then you know what was crucial to Marx's ideology was making sure that the nuclear family and traditional families were broken down. Why, Tucker? Because in order for the government to replace mom and pop, there can be no mom and pop. They want you to turn to the government for every answer. They want no faith. They want no family. They want just government in the lives of every single American. This is Marxism manifest.
Marxism manifest. They want government in your life forever. The left doesn't see it. Shake them, wake them, tell them, hey, wake up. They're woke. You can't tell them they're woke. What a joke. Woke is a joke. It's the woke joke. Joke's on them, by the way. It's also a woke joke at Coke, if you want to get real specific. Yeah, Coke is woke. No joke, folk. 11:41 right now on Legacy 1160 WSKW. Black Guns Matter. So here's my hat. Black Guns Matter. I love this hat. I think my brother-in-law got me this hat. I think. David, I think. I was called racist for wearing it. Black Guns Matter. I believe you. All right, so if any leftists mistakenly happen onto this show, I wish they wouldn't. I wish they'd stay and listen and learn. I do, because they could learn a lot, but they won't. Their minds are closed. They call us closed-minded. They project who they are onto us. So, no, they are very closed-minded. They will not listen. They will not listen to reason. They will not be objective. They have a narrative. They've been told to run with it. They are compliant. So Lawrence Jones on Fox News, he was doing, this week, he's doing, was it Fox News Primetime? And he did a piece on the group Black Lives Matter the other day. And he had a guest who you may or may not have heard of. His name is Maj Touré. Now, here's who Maj Touré is. Maj Touré is a black man. He is the founder of the nonprofit firearms safety group and training group Black Guns Matter. I didn't know that. Well, I guess that's not racist. Duh. So Lawrence Jones pointed out the support BLM has and how it has plummeted over the last year. And he asked Maj Touré why he thinks that is.
The support is dropping because the people are following the money. A bunch of the money, Darren Seals told us before he was murdered, Black Lives Matter Incorporated is a sham organization designed specifically to fleece the black community, has nothing to do with improving the conditions of black America, and they the ops, period. Yes, we know that Black Lives Matter as a reality. Obviously, right? And some people in America wanted to pretend like that wasn't the case. So I want to make that clear distinction between the people doing legitimate work, community work, and the incorporation that funneled. This was a money laundering scheme.
Right.
If as Black Guns Matter, we raised and gave away over the last 4 years, we do work in firearm safety and suicide prevention and conflict resolution in black communities for the last 4 years. We've raised $410,000, give or take, and I've been very transparent with the money. Can you imagine if I'm at conservative tables? Can you imagine how they would have crucified me if I only spent a quarter of that $400,000, a quarter, 25% of it on this stated purpose? No, it was a money laundering scheme, and a whole bunch of that money, don't want to get anybody in trouble, but yes, I do. A whole bunch of that money was funneled to the Democratic Party and Joe Biden and his team's whole scenario. That's where the money at. Follow the paper. That's why the plummet has happened amongst the black community. You see it.
Maj Touré, founder of Black Guns Matter, getting real about what a total scam that is supported by major corporations and the U.S. government. It's government welfare for Democrat donors and a few of the top part of the organization, the upper echelon of BLM, getting rich beyond belief, buying mansions, the Marxist Patrice colors. Oh, we're here to help the oppressed. No, you're there. You're Robin frickin' Hood. Backwards, that's a bass-ackwards Robin. You rob from the poor and you give to the rich. You give to yourself and the Democrats. That's a bass-ackwards Robin Hood. How dare you say anything about Black Lives Matter? They care about black lives. Well, a lot of the people they have on the street carrying signs, I'm sure do. And they think it's a righteous cause. But then again, you have people out there all over the place, probably 4/5 of the people out there or more, have no clue what they're supporting. They are clueless. All they know is there's a mob, let's follow it. Boom, that's it. That's all they need. A group of people will follow. We want to be part of the cool kids because status is more important than knowledge to these people. I'm telling you right now, a lot of your friends on the left who are clearly, they think they are so intellectual, they are so smart, they are so wise in the ways of the world and what's happening in social culture around us, and in social, we need social justice. No, these people just want to be part of the in crowd. They see the mob and they follow the mob because it's cool. It's cool to be part of the mob. They don't know. They have no idea what's going on. Ask one of your leftist friends, where has some of the BLM money gone? Ask one of your leftist friends, can you point out where the BLM money from Black Lives Matter has gone? Ask them that. See if they have a real answer. You know, very little has gone to help black communities. A lot has gone to the Democrat, whatever the name of the organization you give to. I can't remember what it is. But you can look it up on the BLM website. Yeah, they even have a website. I wonder how much they paid for that. But it goes to the Democrats. It goes to the upper echelon of the organization to buy beautiful homes. Did you know? They don't know that because they don't care. They follow the mob. The mob tells you it's righteous, then let's do it. Let's go. That's Saul Alinsky mentality. You play on the ignorance of your followers, and they will be ignorant. They'll continue to be ignorant as long as you make them feel good. Emotions, feelings, that's what they're all about. 10:48. We've got to take a break. Stick around. I'll be right back. I'm John James.
WSKW, Legacy 1160.
Incense and Peppermints doesn't just have a huge selection of scrumptious candies. They have sweet treats that'll bring back wonderful memories every time you share them. Incense and Peppermints has candy that's fun for the whole family, like Jelly Bellies, Smarties, Turkish Taffy, Mellow Cups, Laffy Taffy, and Necco Wafers. And candy that'll take you on a trip down memory lane, like old-fashioned penny candies, root beer barrels, atomic fireballs, Mary Jane's Bit of Honey, and Jawbreakers. They even carry Maine favorites like Moose Poop and Saltwater Taffy. Incense and Peppermints, 48 Main Street in downtown Waterville.
Spring is the time of renewal for both you and your home. So brighten your day and your surroundings with great items from Town Line Antiques. Do you love classic decor? You'll find furniture, artwork, glassware, signs, and hundreds more pieces around every corner. Their classic colors and styles will have you thinking spring and feeling invigorated every time you see them. Or maybe you enjoy collecting books, comics, coins, sports memorabilia, watches, or classic electronics. Town Line Antiques has rare items that you won't find anywhere else. Town Line is also showcasing a new display of art glass that's absolutely dazzling. Each piece is one of a kind, with its own unique flair of colors and form. You simply have to see them to appreciate their beauty. And for everyone who loves to bring items back to life, they're now carrying high-quality fusion mineral paints that give you beautiful color and a durable, long-lasting finish. Town Line Antiques, open Tuesday through Sunday from 10 to 5. Route 201, right on the Winslow-Vassalboro Town Line.
This is Molly from Rod Cyclin RV. We're about a year into the pandemic, and we're all searching for some sort of normalcy. Picture yourself sitting by the campfire with friends and family, your favorite drink in hand, sharing stories and laughing. I bet you thought of a specific night. We want to help you find your normal. We have a large selection of new and pre-loved travel trailers and fifth wheels, fully stocked parts store, and the best camper service around. Rod Cyclin RV, Route 201 Madison, or online at rodcycleandrv.com. We're not trying to be the biggest, but always trying to be the best.
Northern Light Health is seeking caring individuals that want to make a difference as patient service representatives, medical assistants, LPNs, and medication techs, registered nurses, CNAs, housekeepers, and physical therapists. And to make it easier than ever to join their team, they're hosting a Ride and Apply event Wednesday, June 2nd from noon to 6 in the parking lot of the Faith-Free Evangelical Church on Kennedy Memorial Drive in Waterville. This Ride and Apply event is the perfect chance to apply for full-time, part-time, and per diem opportunities currently available at Inland Hospital, Lakewood Continuing Care, Sebasticook Valley Hospital, and Home Care and Hospice. The right candidates will receive competitive pay, health, dental, and vision insurance, tuition reimbursement, and a 403B retirement plan. And did you know that classes, sponsorships, and scholarships are available to Northern Light employees? Plus, some positions are also eligible for a sign-on bonus. Stop by the hiring event on June 2nd or save time by pre-registering by texting RIDE and APPLY to 506-0033. Again, that's 506-0033. Northern Light Health is an equal opportunity employer.
I'm CBS 13 meteorologist Lexi O'Connor. Partly to mostly sunny, hot, and humid today. With late day thunderstorms developing for this evening, some may become strong to severe with the potential for damage and winds. Highs will be in the mid-80s to low 90s, 70s along the mid-coast. Mostly sunny 70s and less humid tomorrow. Mostly cloudy, cooler, low 60s Friday.
Boy, it sure is hot. Whew, man, going to be 90 today. 90s, I hear. Hey, you know, I like the cooler temperatures, but I'll take that. We go through winter every year. I'll take 90s for a day. Not a problem. Got the kids going to swim today, I think. That's always a good time. We've got 10:51 right now. And coming up just after 10, Scott McEwen, author of American Sniper, co-author of American Sniper with Chris Kyle. And so we're going to be talking with Scott about his new book. Yes, he has a new book out that is, it sounds equally as engaging It's called Hell Week and Beyond, the Making of a Navy SEAL. And some of his books, the guy is a very prolific author. Camp Valor, The Sniper and the Wolf, Sniper Elite, American Commander, to name a few. Ghost Sniper. Writes a lot of books about snipers. So look forward to him coming up in just about, just about 10 minutes from right now, as a matter of fact, on Legacy 1160 WSKW. I want to revisit Feckless Fecto again. Ryan Fecto, the House Speaker of the state of Maine, has taken over the government. He has usurped control from we the people. They were doing that all along anyway, under the guise of bipartisanship. No, it wasn't. It's always been very partisan. This is just amazing how far this has gotten. But when the Republicans came in without masks, I would bet he knew they were going to come in without masks because science. But he demanded, Ryan Fecto demanded, he's got the hammer, my friend, the arm and hammer. He demanded that masks be worn by all House members. The Democrats didn't, so he punished them. Well, you're not going to obey Daddy. You're going to get a timeout. So, timeout, I guess I get a timeout. All Republicans were taken off all committees and replaced with Democrats. So now Republicans have zero representation in the main House, which is already controlled by Democrats. Are you going to let that stand? I'm not. I called. He's not going to call. I left my number. Yeah, like he's going to call me back. Won't call me. Too much of a coward. 207-287-1300. If you can find his cell number, there are a lot of cell numbers on the internet for representatives. They were either there during the campaigns or at some other time. Call his cell phone. I don't have it. You want to post, you get it, and you want to post it, post it. I don't care. I'm not going to post it. But you can. I'll tell people it's there, too, if you post it. But the office is 207-287-1300. I'm going to double check that right now, and I'm also going to give you his email because I believe that should also be flooded. I'll try to do the groundwork for you. You just follow up. That'd be great. Ryan.fecto@legislature.maine.gov. Ryan.fecto@legislature.maine.gov. It's on my Facebook page. 207-287-1300. By the way, his last name is spelled Fecteau. It's French, like Parmerlot. Fecto, Ryan Fecto at legislature.maine.gov. So, there you go. Good morning, Reg. No, I think you're talking about one of the recent commenters, wondering if they're referring to me. If it's bad, I don't think they are. These are all good people here that I see commenting. I think they're referring to the crap that's going on in Augusta or in Washington, D.C. We don't have time to get into anything more this hour. Boy, we have a lot to get to. In fact, if I don't get to it today, I want to get to it tomorrow. And it's a doctor, and his last name is McCullough. Like McCulloch. I think it's spelled sort of like McCulloch chainsaw. It's pronounced McCullough. And I can't find the story right here. Let me give you his name. I'll let you look him up. This guy is he's a renowned doctor. He's a cardio cardio specialists. Peter McCullough, McCullough, prominent cardiologist, internist, and professor of medicine. And I had his where he teaches, but I don't have it right in front of me. He is raising red flags all over this vaccine. He too thinks there may be an ulterior motive. And I've got some great audio from him. I may or may not have time to get to it today, but know that I will get to it tomorrow if I don't get to it today. We have to take a break now. We've got news coming up, and then we are going to have a little visit with a very special guest who I hope you'll be here to enjoy. He's an author, and his name is Scott McEwen, co-authored the book American Sniper with Chris Kyle. So stick around for him and more coming up after 11 o'clock. This is Freedom's Pep Rally, brought to you by the Gun Shop on Coney Circle in Augusta. I'm John James.
Legacy 1160, WSKW.
It's a new year. Aren't you tired of walking over the same beaten up old flooring? It's time you installed a new floor that offers premium durability by contacting HT Winters about their line of Tarkett Pro Gen tile and wood flooring. Tarkett is designed to stand strong in all seasons against water, dirt, and sunlight. The best way to improve your home this winter is to install Tarkett Pro Gen tile and wood flooring. HT Winters, 43 Bay Street in Winslow, and online at htwintersflooring.com.
Hey folks, who's thinking about spring? Hi, this is Bernie from Trailside Performance. If you're taking on those tough chores around your property, come check out the #1 selling farm tractor in the world, Mahindra. Not only are Mahindra tractors tough, but they come with a 7-year warranty to back it up. With Mahindra, there's no regeneration, no diesel particulate filter, and no hassle. I personally invite you to our Winslow or Newport location to learn more about Mahindra and their awesome discounts and finance programs. At Trailside Performance, we service what we sell, and we sell Mahindra.
Hi, this is Mike Perkins from KMD Motorcycle School. If you're interested in earning your motorcycle license, contact us to sign up for classes. Starting soon, they are available 7 days a week. Call 465-4835 or visit kmddrivingschool.com.
What's important here at Moody's is we have a lot of opportunity for upward mobility.
Moody's definitely helped me through. They sent me to school. I got my degree in business. I had the demeanor and I had the willpower and the want.
Our trade is constantly changing and there's always new challenges that arise.
I definitely feel like an owner. It's very exciting.
When you like what you do, you like your job, you like the people you work with, what else could you ask for?
Bring your skills to Moody's and build a long-term future with us.
I'm CBS 13 meteorologist Lexi O'Connor. Partly to mostly sunny, hot, and humid today. With late day thunderstorms developing for this evening, some may become strong to severe with the potential for damage and winds. Highs will be in the mid-80s to low 90s, 70s along the mid-coast. Mostly sunny 70s and less humid tomorrow. Mostly cloudy, cooler, low 60s Friday.
From the Home Auto Group Studios, Farmington Ford and Franklin Chrysler in Farmington. This is WSKW, Skowhegan, Augusta, Waterville, Legacy 1160.
ABC News, I'm Jim Ryan. The investigation into former President Trump and his business dealings reaches another level. The Manhattan District Attorney's Office has convened a special grand jury to look into evidence that could lead to Trump or his business associates facing criminal charges. ABC Chief Washington Correspondent Jonathan Karl with reaction.
Trump is out with a statement, a familiar sounding statement, and responding to this, quote, "This is purely political and an affront to the almost 75 million voters who supported me in the presidential election, and it's being driven by highly partisan Democratic prosecutors." U.S.
Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene, a big supporter of President Trump, is comparing vaccine mandates to how Jews were treated in the Holocaust. Some Democrats are calling for her censure or her expulsion. She says she will not apologize for the statement. Secretary of State Antony Blinken has arrived in Egypt as he continues efforts to keep in place the ceasefire brokered between Israel and Hamas. This is ABC News. A major oil company is being ordered to slash its carbon emissions. A Dutch court has told Royal Dutch Shell that it needs to cut emissions by 45% in the coming 9 years. The court says the oil company's current plans for reductions don't go far enough. Arrests in Italy after a weekend cable car crash that left 14 people dead and one child fighting for his life. ABC's Megan Williams has the story from Rome.
3 people in northern Italy are under arrest in connection with the cable car crash that killed 14 people on Sunday. Italian police say at least one person questioned overnight admitted to what happened, that the clamp had been intentionally placed on the brake as a patchwork repair to stop it from engaging because it was braking spontaneously and interrupting the movement of the cable cars. The cable snapped on Sunday, causing a car with 15 people on board to plummet down the slope until it hit trees. The sole survivor, a 5-year-old Israeli boy, remains in critical condition. Megan Williams, ABC News, Rome.
And I'm Jim Ryan, ABC News.
O'Reilly. This is Sarah's O'Reilly Auto Parts story.
Driving cross country with 2 young children is ambitious, to say the least. Then our check engine light came on. We pulled into O'Reilly Auto Parts and they tested it. Turned out it was a faulty sensor. They referred us to a great mechanic just down the street, and we were back on the road in no time.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Fox tonight. It's a night of celebration and shocking reveals.
You are a mega star.
As the final 3 masked singers are unmasked and the winner is crowned.
The Masked Singer finale.
Can America's Best Bakers piece together what dessert was made in this kitchen?
Cinnamon, powdered sugar.
Then bake a gourmet version of their own.
This is delicious.
But did you make the right dessert?
Joel McHale hosts Crime Scene Kitchen, premiering after the Masked Singer finale. Fox tonight.
Hey, welcome back. Legacy 1160 WSKW, John James, Freedom's Pep Rally, powered by the Gun Shop on Coney Circle in Augusta. Speaking of guns, nobody to really admire more than somebody who's a marksman, and you were talking ultimate marksman when you are talking snipers, when you were talking people like Chris Kyle. And we've got an author on this morning, and he's going to be here with us in just a few minutes. His name is Scott McEwen, and his new book is called Hell Week and Beyond, the Making of a Navy SEAL. He was also the co-author of American Sniper, which is the story of Chris Kyle. You know, that was made into a movie, a very poignant movie, a great movie. And so we're going to have Scott on momentarily here. Before we do that, though, I want you to hear a little bit, and I've got this book, by the way. I got this book. I've just started it, and he's got quite a catalog of books, and we'll talk about some of those, but especially about this one, Hell Week and Beyond, the Making of a Navy SEAL. Here is a little bit from the audiobook. If you want to get yourself the audiobook, and or you can get yourself the hard copy. I just like the audiobook because I can drive while I'm reading it, and I don't have to wait for it to come in the mail, so that's pretty cool. And I don't like reading off a tablet, so forget about that. So here's a piece from the book. This is the new book, Hell Week and Beyond. Scott McEwen's the author. Listen.
I was the legal mercenary who helped big corporations avoid taking massive losses when their products maimed or killed. Killing was better for my clients. The dead don't need lifelong medical attention. With my life being grim at home and gruesome at work, I felt a burning need to bring light into this world, to give back to our valiant troops fighting real wars overseas. After work, I offered pro bono legal advice to local military service members. I needed to help others, to do something good for good people, and perhaps to find redemption for myself. Since I lived near the Naval Amphibious Base at Coronado Island, California, the home to West Coast-based Navy SEALs and training ground for all of BUD's basic underwater demolition SEAL training, I was blessed with the honor of offering help to these finest of warfighters. Mostly I advised on civil matters, property issues, bad loans, and the occasional domestic dispute. Ironically, I excelled at helping my clients shore up their lives while mine crumbled underneath me. And the SEALs needed the help. Sadly, Many of our military fall victim to unscrupulous lenders and con men who often prey on military spouses when service members are overseas. In the fall of 2009, I went to Coronado to meet an active duty SEAL in a bar. He needed to talk to a lawyer and had heard I could be trusted. A mutual friend, a former Vietnam-era SEAL named LZ, wanted to introduce us. LZ was more than a warrior of the old school. He was a stone-cold maniac. He had a taste for cheap whiskey, even cheaper Mexican prostitutes, knives, and dangerous situations. And he absolutely despised anything resembling regular old quiet life. Simply stated, if you chose to drink with this man, you were best off bringing bail money. I met LZ when a neighbor recommended him as a jack of all trades, an honest trade he tried his hand at when he ran out of cash. I'd been warned by my neighbor, he's a very good stonemason when he shows up. While sitting at a side table drinking a vodka soda with LZ in a bar that smelled like stale beer and salt air, I saw a man approach our table from behind. Pantera blared from inside the bar out toward the patio where we sat. The man moved light on his feet, silent on stone. Careful to stay out of LZ's sight, he crept up behind him and slipped him into a headlock, saying, "When are you going to finish my patio? I paid you 6 damn months ago." LZ could not get a word out. He turned a dark shade of purplish red as the blood was expertly cut off to his brain, and then he passed out. The man gently laid LZ on the floor, then slid his butt into LZ's now empty stool, smiling at me. "Hey, bud, you must be the lawyer LZ suggested I meet," he said, grinning and speaking in an easy Texas drawl. This guy, who had just choked my friend like you might stub out a cigarette, then reached across the table for a handshake and added, "I'm Chris Kyle. How you doing?" "Better than LZ, I guess," I told him. A quiet second passed, and we both burst out laughing. Chris had the energy and temperament of a pit bull, strong, quiet, deeply loyal, and serene, almost gentle. Yet he was extremely physically powerful, built of solid, compact muscle that was coiled tight and ready to rumble. He was someone you could wrestle with if you wanted or dared. Yet a look in his somewhat sleepy eyes warned you that if you wanted to fuck with him, you better be prepared to fight to the death.
Wow. Unbelievable. Now, does you want to read that book? I know you do. Scott McEwen, the author and a co-author of American Sniper, the story of Chris Kyle. Good morning and welcome to the show, Scott McEwen.
Thank you very much for having me on.
This is, I've just started it, and it's so good. And you've got quite a catalog of books. I mean, you've written about Sniper Elite. You've got like a Sniper Elite series, right?
Yeah. This is number 10, so I've definitely got a few out there now, and you know, it's been a fun run, and the Sniper Elite series had 4 books in it. Wow.
Now, how much is now that you combine you so seamlessly combine reality and fiction? This is what I'm guessing. I'm not being familiar with all the books other than the current one and American Sniper.
Yeah, well, you know, it's interesting because the Sniper Elite series was really formed from a lot of stories that I'd heard, and you know, you have to submit when you do a book such as American Sniper, which is a biography or autobiography, anything that's nonfiction that is based on military experience, you have to submit to the Department of Defense for approval and of any non-classified material. In other words, they have to review it. But you know, your fiction stuff, I don't have to review it, and many of the stories that I write about in fiction are based on some real stuff that's taken place.
Right. Now, American Sniper, did you actually sit down with Chris Kyle and this was in the works before he died, correct?
Oh yeah, I mean, we wrote that book took about 18 months, really. I mean, to get the thing done. So Chris and I were working on that for a long time before he even got out of the military. We started work on the book, and then once he got out of the military, it was released. In January of 2012. We lost Chris in February 2013.
Wow. Now was there an addendum added to that book after?
There's a memorial edition to the book as well.
Yeah.
That was obviously brought out after Chris was killed.
Wow. Unbelievable. So now this story at the beginning of your new book, which I love. I just love. Now, you're speaking from the perspective of an attorney. And
yeah, that initial part, definitely.
So, and again, I haven't gotten to read the book yet, but I am so intrigued and enticed to go on. Now, this story about the guy who he put the chokehold on, is that based on a real story?
No, that happened.
That happened.
Yeah,
wow.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Now,
No, Chris was very good at the carotid chokehold.
Unbelievable.
All those guys are.
Unbelievable. So you have actually, being in the SEAL training area, you are up close and personal with how it all works and all that goes into it. And you are also a historian when it comes to the military, correct?
Yeah, that's exactly it. I consider myself to be a scribe, and really my job is to chronicle, the stories of these men that I believe are superheroes for this country. And so, it's something I really enjoy doing, and it's some the stories I like to tell about not only the men themselves, but what the families go through, in serving this country, because we have, 1% basically protects the country for the other 99%. And I think it's important that those of us that do not serve understand exactly the sacrifice those that do for the country.
Absolutely. I will be the very first to tip my hat to the men and women who serve in our military, and God bless them. And it's a phenomenal responsibility. It's a phenomenal thing they have offered to do, up to and including your life. Are you kidding me? You can't get much more love of country than that. Have you spoken with Dan Crenshaw? Is he in the book?
No, Dan is not in the book, although I have on one occasion spoken to Dan, great American there, another SEAL. But really the story in the body of the book, I write the story from the perspective of the 18-year-old, 17-year-old that joins the SEALs from anywhere in the United States. And I try to go through in as much detail as possible every single day of the Hell Week that takes place in Coronado, and find out exactly what it is that goes on, how it is people react to it, why it washes out 80% of the men that start it, how difficult it is to get through it, and really what it represents once you're done with it. And that's kind of, it's 10 years in the making, this book, and it was kind of, I've been to the training center there many times with many different SEALs, and this is my way of saying this is how difficult it is to go through it. And really, what you get at the end is the men that we see in Marcus Luttrell, Chris Kyle, others that we know of, Dan Crenshaw, people like that. They all go through this single process, and they all must do it to become SEALs.
Or as we'd call them, men's men, I guess.
Yeah, that's for sure.
18 months, right, to become a Navy SEAL?
That's correct. It takes 18 months to get through your basic underwater demolition SEAL training. At the end, you get your trident, but they front load the Hell Week that this book is really based on in the first month of training. And the reason they do that, I think, is several reasons, but I think the most important reason is they don't want the guys to go through the rest of the training, which costs the American taxpayer between $1 million and $1.5 million per man, just in training costs, not including equipment.
Wow.
They want to get it figured out really right off the bat, whether you have what it takes to become a Navy SEAL. And at the end of Hell Week, they know whether you have it or not.
Now, do some people who make it through Hell Week go on and then drop out later for some unknown reason?
Yeah, it happens, but it's very rare.
Yeah,
it happens. That they lose guys later. But once you get through Hell Week, you've got 90+% chance of making it through the rest of it. because they don't want to lose men at that stage. They really want to try and keep the men in the program at that stage, because they're investing this time and this energy, and obviously the United States wants some return on their investment. So they want to keep the guys in. But I will say this: that the danger level really increases dramatically after Hell Week, because Hell Week is very well monitored, even though they bring you to the levels of hypothermia and other things to really the edge of, if you will, physical and mental stress. But afterwards, you learn all of your basic other things, such as diving at night, you're jumping out of airplanes, blowing things up, C4, all your different explosive things that SEALs have to know. And the danger level really increases with the rest of SEAL qualified training after Hell Week.
Wow. Scott McEwen, author of Hell Week and Beyond, The Making of a Navy SEAL, author of a bunch of books, including American Sniper, co-authored it with Chris Kyle. And who's the other gentleman's name? I didn't write it down.
Yeah, Dave Police did work on it too.
Okay, yeah. Now, you must go. So you go through every facet of Hell Week in this book, correct?
That's right.
And you've seen it all.
Yeah, pretty much.
So what is the scariest part for the? I just try to imagine myself. I'm not afraid of the water at all. But if you're putting me underwater and making me stay there for a minute or whatever, whatever it is, I think there is a certain amount of intrigue with just what these men. Are there any women, by the way, who are SEALs at this point?
No.
Okay. So what these men go through in order to become one of America's elite, and it amazes me. What are some of the toughest things that they have to do, if you can specify?
I think, as I go into the book is, the fact of the matter is, they keep these guys awake for 5 days straight. I mean, they give them 2 hours of sleep in 5 days and essentially push their body mentally and physically to the point of exhaustion as well as hypothermia. And I think the hypothermia part of it is important to know that's huge, because a lot of people just don't operate well when they're freezing, and they have to know, especially given the fact that SEALs must operate in a pretty wet environment on a general basis.
Right.
They have to know that these men can operate under that very extreme cold situation, and it's not going to bother, or I should say, affect their ability to get their jobs done as well. So, I think that's one of the things that people don't realize is exactly how much cold, affects their bodies, and that's what they want to find out with these SEALs. And I think that's one of the most difficult tasks that have to be performed by the men.
Now, you say they get 2 hours. They'll get 2 hours sleep in five days. How do you keep somebody awake? And what if they doze, which they must?
You keep them awake basically through immersion into the Pacific Ocean, different tasks, running, on the sand for miles, with 50, 70-pound backpacks.
Wow.
Basically they're moving the entire time. If they're not moving, they do allow them to eat meals every 8 hours. They keep some energy level into them as far as calories are concerned. But they basically, you don't have the opportunity to fall asleep at all. They do, like I said, allow 2 hours one day towards the end, and they figure that the brain at a certain point in time will literally degrade if you don't allow a certain amount of sleep over a period of time. And so, they medically monitor that, I think, pretty well.
Now, what are some of the more dangerous things that come up later in the 18-month training that you say can be dangerous? I'm sure people have lost their lives.
Oh yeah. They lose guys. I mean, there's no way you can go through this training without losing men. I think some of the more dangerous stuff have to be, the diving. The diving apparatus that they use are called dragger rebreathers, and the dragger system is always known as one that's a little bit on the dangerous side in and of itself. It's not like breathing oxygen that you get from a regular oxygen tank. They sift the actual breathing. You go back in with your carbon dioxide. When you breathe out, it's sifted, and then you breathe back in oxygen from it. So it creates no bubbles. So if you're working underneath a ship and you have to place some type of destructive device or monitoring device or whatever else SEALs have to do, you can look over the edge of the ship and it's easy to see bubbles, but with a Draeger rebreathing device, there is no bubbles. So they can do their job as frogmen, if you will, much more effectively, with this rebreather device. But those devices are traditionally have issues, and they certainly are dangerous under certain circumstances, especially at night, and diving in the conditions these guys must dive in. So I think the diving part of it is extremely dangerous. And then obviously, anytime you're working with high explosives, and they teach SEALs how to work with many different high explosives and detonation systems, because that's a huge part of their job,
right,
is to run that. And accidents happen. I mean, it's just part of the game.
Wow. Scott McEwen, Hell Week and Beyond, the Making of a Navy SEAL, his latest book, available now. Audiobook, you can get it at Amazon Audible. You can also get it from Amazon. I'm sure it's available at bookstores all over. Any talk about making this one into a movie, or any thoughts about pitching it?
Yeah, no, it's already been looked at, and there's people looking at it right now. And it's kind of funny because the guys that I know that are looking at it, they look at it like Dark Knight Rising. In other words, like a superhero story, except for this is a creation story of a superhero. Not unlike the prequels to Superman or Batman.
Right.
The only difference is the superhero is real.
Yeah, absolutely.
So this is the creation story of the Superman that we see, have done all these jobs, such as Chris and Marcus and other guys like that. And I really like to think of this story in that vein. It's interesting way to look at it, but it's very true.
Unbelievable. So now are women not accepted into the SEAL program, or is it just that none have tried?
I don't know. I know they have had women that have tried to make it through.
Yep.
Now, whether that is a public, admission or not, I don't know. But the bottom line is, there's a reason why, and I tell this to people all the time, it's not a sexist thing.
Right.
It's a job thing.
Yeah.
And, and there's a reason why there's no women in the NFL, and there's a reason why there's no women in the, other professional hockey or whatever other sports you want to choose. And that is, this job is extremely physical, it's extremely difficult. And the danger levels are, take that of the NFL or the NHL and multiply it by 1,000. And then, then you have a Navy SEAL. So,
yep.
While I understand the PC thing is to say, well, women should be able to do any job.
Right.
I'll tell you, I think that the SEALs have made a decision that not everybody gets a trophy, and that they have to keep the ranks extremely tight and extremely mentally and physically fit. And it's not their job to be PC; it's their job to do the job that America needs them to do. And I, for one, support their position on that 100%.
Amen, Scott. Scott McEwen, Hell Week and Beyond, the Making of a Navy SEAL, brand new book. You got to get it. And now, do you mind if I ask your opinion on what the military is starting to do now based on the new administration's edicts? It's it is what it is. I mean, what's going on. Is this going to hurt us?
Yeah, I think it will, and I'm very concerned. And we saw this, last time, the if you will, social messaging and all the other things that took place during the Obama administration. And here we go again.
Yeah.
They use the military as part of their PC
right.
woke, if you will,
yep.
Attitude. And I think it not only is debilitating to the men and women that elect to serve, but I also think it's debilitating to the mission of the military as a whole. And and I think we lose sight of the fact that the military is not a petri dish.
Right.
And it
right.
Really it is not a situation where we need to use them as such. It is to defend this country. And I think when we lose sight of that, we dull the spear. Thank you.
Absolute. Well said. Very well said, Scott. And you're getting the rewards now if you're and again, I have no problem with what anybody wants to do with their life as long as you stay away from my rights. And so now we have a president of the United States, and he has ordered the military that if a transgendered person signs up, they will have their reassignment surgery paid for by the U.S. government up to $200,000. And
yeah. Yeah, that's exactly. And you know what? People join for that reason.
Right.
I'm not being anti-transgender, but this is a known fact.
Right.
That they join for that reason. I mean, really, is that really what the American taxpayers want from our military or expect from our military, that they put the bill for these type of, if you will, elective reorganization?
Right.
You know, I think not. And, you know, and I don't care. I'm not being anti-transgender when I say that. That is not the job of the U.S. military. That is not the job of the U.S. taxpayer. If you want to do that, that is your decision.
Right.
As long as you're of age, that's your decision. But I think it's crazy that we try and force this upon our military organizations.
Absolutely. I'm right there with you. Again, do what you want to do with your life. That's up to you. I'm not going to stand in your way, nor am I going to make fun of your decisions. But don't expect me and our country to foot the bill and lose our edge in the world because of social justice, as it were.
Yeah, it makes no sense, and it puts the United States military in a very difficult position. And I don't think that that's really what we want from our military. I mean, I think we're blessed with the strongest military on earth because we made some decisions to keep that group strong, and and I thank those people very much for serving and defending us. But don't ask too much of them because it doesn't make any sense.
Absolutely, you're a good man, Scott McEwen. I really appreciate your attitude, your perspective, and your time in your books. Hell Week and Beyond: The Making of a Navy SEAL is brand new. You want to get it? You can get it, like I said, Amazon, Audible, Barnes and Noble. You can get it at Amazon. You can get the hard copy at Amazon. Do you have any autographed copies or anything like that going out?
Yeah, I offer some stuff like that through scottmcEwen.com, and people can get a hold of me and my people, and we can set up some stuff to do some autograph copies as well. That's something we do, and I want to encourage everybody out there, if possible. All of us have that mom and pop bookstore, that might do both used and new books,
right.
On the corner, whatever else. Those people got hit hard during this whole pandemic thing, and if you can support those people and go by there and order the book there, it might cost you a couple bucks more, but you know what? Jeff Bezos got enough money.
There you go, man. Yeah.
So as far as I'm concerned, if you can support those independent bookstores, then by all means, please do so.
Absolutely terrific. Well said again. And wow, there's so many things I could ask you. I'd love to give away. We'll have to come over to your site and try to get some of the books because I think our listeners would love that. So.
I'll do it for sure. Get a hold of me, and we'll do some kind of a contest or something like that. It'd be fun to do.
That would be great.
I like supporting the troops as well. I got a lot of charities that I put on my site that I encourage people to try and help as well. Navy SEAL Fund, and there's some other stuff out there that helps the families of troops. And all of us can do something. All of us, and it might not be a big thing, but all of us can do something. And and giving back really to this group, I think is important, and I like to try and do it whenever I can.
That's awesome. Now, should I contact you at the number I used, or is there a different email address that I should?
No. This number's fine.
Okay.
Let's do that, or McEwen at my scottmcEwen.com. I respond to emails there as well.
Terrific. Scott McEwen, you're a great American, a great author, and I can't wait to read the book. And I loved American Sniper. And I wish you the very best of luck, and I hope you continue to be as prolific with your writing as you have been. And I hope we can get you on again. And I would be remiss if I didn't thank Juan, the radio god, Right America Media, radio and TV, for being in touch and making this possible. This has just been an honor, and I look forward to giving away some books and promoting you some more.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it, and keep bringing the word. We're gonna take this back. Don't worry. This country is ours, and I think it's important that everybody out there do not lose faith. And one of the things I talk about in Hell Week is, as long as there's a light, a SEAL will seek out that light, and every one of us can do the same thing. We just got to look at the good things that are out there and support those that support us.
Oh boy, we needed to hear that. Thank you, Scott. All right, man. You have a great day. Talk to you soon, my friend.
Thank you.
Bye now. Scott McEwen, Hell Week and Beyond: The Making of a Navy SEAL. What a great guy. You got to get the book. You got to get the book. And if you haven't read it or haven't seen the movie, make sure you do. American Sniper, the story of Chris Kyle. We'll be back. We've got more. Stick around. A lot more. I'm John James. This is Freedom's Pep Rally, brought to you by the Gun Shop on Coney Circle in Augusta.
WSKW, Legacy 1160.
I'm CBS 13 meteorologist Lexi O'Connor. Partly to mostly sunny, hot, and humid today. With late day thunderstorms developing for this evening, some may become strong to severe with the potential for damage and winds. Highs will be in the mid 80s to low 90s, 70s along the mid coast. Mostly sunny 70s and less humid tomorrow. Mostly cloudy, cooler, low 60s Friday.
Hey folks, who's thinking about spring? Hi, this is Bernie from Trailside Performance. If you're taking on those tough chores around your property, come check out the #1 selling farm tractor in the world, Mahindra. Not only are Mahindra tractors tough, but they come with a 7-year warranty to back it up. With Mahindra, there's no regeneration, no diesel particulate filter, and no hassle. I personally invite you to our Winslow or Newport location to learn more about Mahindra and their awesome discounts and finance programs. At Trailside Performance, we service what we sell, and we sell Mahindra.
In Maine, an astonishing 1 in 5 people will experience sexual violence in their lifetime. But you can support survivors, bring awareness, and help to bring an end to sexual assault during the Sexual Assault Crisis and Support Center's 10th annual 1 in 5 5K. This year, it's a hybrid event. You can participate virtually or in person at First Park in Oakland, Sunday, April 25th. All proceeds benefit the Sexual Assault Crisis and Support Center. For more information and to register, go to silentnomore.org.
Legacy 1160, WSKW.
Welcome back. Freedom's Pep Rally, freedom. And, yeah, thank you for the messages on Scott McEwen. Wow. What a guy. Great American. I couldn't resist getting into politics a little bit as it deals with the military. He is a huge military supporter, knows more about the Navy SEALs probably than anyone who isn't a Navy SEAL, and has written a bunch of books and has talked to many SEALs and followed them through their training too, by the way. That's why the book should be such a great read. Hell Week and Beyond, The Making of a Navy SEAL by Scott McEwen. And we'll try to get some books to give away here on Legacy 1160 for your winning enjoyment. Now, I'll figure out how we'll do that at some point here, and we'll get her done. Your time right now is 11:35, and back to what's going on. There is a lot of stuff happening that we haven't gotten to. There's a lot of stuff we won't get to, but let's get to some of the important stuff that is happening right now. One of the big things here in Maine, of course, is Ryan Fecteau and the mask charade he pulled. He is the Speaker of the House. He is not the King of Maine. No, that's Janet Mills is the monarch. No, really. I mean, we don't have monarchs, right? We don't have dictators. Well, apparently we do. Apparently we have 3 of them. We have Troy Jackson, Ryan Fecteau, and Janet Mills. 3 tyrants, 1 party. And that's what they want. That's what they forced down our throats just this week. When the Republicans showed up without masks on Monday, on Mask-Free Monday, because science, Ryan Fecteau, who made the rule, you still got to wear masks in here, in the State House, in the People's House. So he removed all of the Republicans from all the committees and replaced 7 committees, by the way, and replaced them with Democrats. So Republicans have 0 representation. 0 on any of the committees, and he is punishing them. Listen.
But at the end of the day, that's the policy we have in place. I expect our members to follow that policy.
As punishment, Speaker Fecteau stripped all 7 of their legislative committees, which means they can't participate in the committee meetings where bills are debated and worked on with public input.
Public input. So Republicans cannot get any input into the committees now because we have no, is that even legal? I I'm sorry. I don't care what the hell your policy is, Ryan Fecto. I don't care what your policy is. Is that even legal? To shut out half the Mainers? This can't stand. This cannot stand. Love to have him come on the show and explain himself. I would love to have. He won't. I know he won't. I know he won't. I've never been able to get somebody from the other side to come on the show if they know what they've done is wrong. They don't want to have to defend themselves. They wait for somebody friendly, like one of the news stations, to come up and ask them, well, could you tell us why you did that? Yeah, okay. And I understand they're supposed to be objective news sources. They can't push back. Well, hell, I can. He won't. That's why he won't come on here. He won't come on anywhere. Yeah, you get pushback because they're in defense. Think about it. How would you like to be in an indefensible position? Well, it's policy. They didn't wear a mask. But science, Ryan, defend that. Defend the science. You can't, because the science says everything's safe. Defend taking Republicans off all the committees because you're pissed off at them. Defend that, Ryan. Can't do that, can you? That makes no sense. Only a juvenile, only a bully would do that. Can you imagine had it been reversed? Can you imagine if the Democrats had come in without masks and it was the Republicans in power and we had a Republican House Speaker that did that? Oh, whoa, hell to pay. Hey, you know what? I would be on here saying the same thing about the Republicans. How can you do that? You cannot shut out half the state based on some stupid hair across the butt moment. Again, knee-jerk reaction from Ryan Fecto. Now he's had time to think about it and make the right decision. Still no movement, so far as I know. Feckless Fecto. Spineless Republicans. You know what? We do have some great Republicans in there, though, Mikkel. We talked with one of them yesterday. We'll talk with another one tomorrow. Actually, Heidi Sampson's going to be with us tomorrow as well. Our weekly update from the State House. And I'd be interested to see what has been being said around the halls of the Capitol. A mixture of politicians. Angela's asking, a mixture. You mean the people who were stymied? No, they were all Republicans. They were a mixture of politicians. She is awesome. They were a mixture of politicians on the committees, which that's what we need. We need both sides. But now there's only Democrats, just what the doctor ordered for the ruling elite, the ruling class, the mob, if you will. 207-287-1300. That's the number to Ryan Fecto's office. 200-287-1300. And the governor's office, 207-287-3531. Let them know how you feel. No, you are not going to get to speak with either Mills or Fecto. You aren't going to. They don't want to talk to you. They do not want to talk to you. I think if you were a Democrat, you would be hard-pressed to get either one of them on the phone because they're better than you. And if you don't think so, try setting up a meeting with them. You could actually set up a meeting with Paul LePage. I had friends who did. I want to talk to the governor. Yeah, sure, come on in. It may take a while. Do you think you'd get a meeting with... Republican representatives can't even get a meeting with our current governor. Republican representatives can't even meet with Governor Mills. You think citizens are going to be able to? Well, that's a fat chance. That's a big no. All right, onward and upward. We've got to move. Oh, Biden's already gone back on a campaign promise. I'm happy about it, but it's just a sign of the guy we have in office. He doesn't care about people. He just doesn't care. You make promise, he'll break a promise. Remember, he said, "Oh, we're going to pay for $10,000 of school loans." Remember that one? Then AOC and Chuck Schumer wanted to crank it up to $50,000 per person at these elitist colleges who have enough endowments to pay for students for the next 150 years. But they want more. They want more and more. They always want more. So Schumer wanted 50,000. So did AOC. So did Ilhan Omar. Some people did something. Joe Biden said 10,000. Now, sorry, you've been shut out. Campaign website stated ambitious promises. The promise is to more than halve the payments on undergraduate federal student loans, making loan forgiveness work for public servants, and even to make public colleges and universities tuition free for all families with incomes below $125,000. He reaffirmed his promise to take action on student loans after winning the election. And he endorsed a proposal from House Democrats with $10,000 worth of cancellation for student debt from every federal borrower. But, like all promises made by Democrats and many Republicans, dust in the wind. All they are is dust in the wind. Okay, so no more cancellation. The exclusion of student loan forgiveness in the budget is notable. Considering Biden has already proposed 3 massive legislative spending bills totaling more than $6 trillion, what the heck's another trillion? As Forbes noted, the writing is on the wall. Biden increasingly is likely to renege on his campaign promise. The exclusion of student loan cancellation isn't a surprise. Based on the latest news on student loan cancellation, it's easier to read the writing on the wall about where Biden stands on his executive authority to cancel student loans. It's not that Biden doesn't support student loan cancellation. He does. However, Biden wants Congress, not the president, to enact student loan cancellation through legislation. Ha! Right. So the idea that you go to Penn State and you're paying a total of $70,000 a year and the public should pay for that? That's what Biden said. That's what Biden said. After promising all these student loans, the public should pay for that? You going to Penn State, the public? But Joe, you promised that the public would, but what day is it? What's Joe's opinion? I don't know. What day is it? It's Wednesday over here. Oh, then he's against student loan forgiveness. Wait till Friday. Yeah. You know, there are people that actually voted for this guy. So many ignorant people. I don't know where to begin. I don't know. I don't know what to think. I don't even understand it. 11:46. So Nancy Pelosi, let's talk about money here. Let's talk about how much the government loves the children and the people who need money. Let's shine a little light on this for a minute. Nancy and the Democrat, they're so very thoughtful. They are so very, very thoughtful. Trillions of dollars in stimulus money to keep people alive and keep the unemployment handouts coming in so people don't have to go to work. And she and the left, they care about children so very much. She sheds tears over it. Care about the children. Now, I wouldn't make fun of somebody who actually did care about the children, trust me. Wouldn't make fun of that. Actually, they don't care about the children. The children don't keep them in power. Who does? The rich people keep them in power. So here's where the light comes shining down. While Nancy was patting herself and the Joe Kamala duo on the back, our money was going right to the very places the left says gets too much welfare. Yes, I'm talking about the rich. John Stossel never fails to deliver the truth. And once again, he does. Here is John Stossel. Follow the money.
The HEROES Act. Helping heroes sounds like a good idea.
The House just passed the HEROES Act.
So our government doled out
almost $1 trillion.
And where did she send that money? $350 million went to America's richest zip codes.
There was no means test. There was no questioning, well, how are you doing? How is your city budget right now?
Lisa Conyers co-wrote Welfare for the Rich, a book explaining how your tax dollars end up in millionaires' pockets.
I ended up traveling around the country for 4 years, looking at state budgets and federal budgets and saying, wait a minute, what did we just pay for?
Most recently, she discovered
America's richest towns got huge amounts of money.
They didn't have to prove anything. They just had to ask. They just had to go feed at the public trough, and they were able to take money out.
Politicians gave billions to governments already flush with cash.
Who wouldn't like to play Santa Claus? Who wouldn't like to just be able to give everybody some money?
So they gleefully dole out your money and give a disproportionate share to rich people. For example, when the governor of Nevada
signed a bill to fund a new football stadium, Raider owner Mark Davis was there cheering the signature.
Davis should cheer. His team got almost $1 billion for his new stadium.
I don't have any problem with them building a stadium. I just don't know why I have to pay for it.
Or why taxpayers must pay for the very best.
On the artistic side, we lean towards the analogy of a black sports car. It has these flowing lines.
We created the moving field that moves in and out of the building in one piece. Mark Davis was adamant that the Raiders would be playing on natural grass.
Since Davis demanded that, why didn't he pay for it?
I'm not a billionaire.
No, he and his mom own half the Raiders, which are valued at $3 billion.
Welcome to the Death Star.
The gift to Davis wasn't even unusual. Politicians screw taxpayers to build stadiums for lots of billionaires, like the Minnesota Vikings owner.
Here's this person who has all this money that could perfectly well build his own stadium, asking the taxpayers to build this stadium for them.
And taxpayers keep paying.
The Santa Clara City Council committed redevelopment money for a new 49ers football stadium.
For billionaire after billionaire.
But the taxpayers often vote for this stuff, so they must like it.
They often do, but they're promised there's going to be all these jobs, not only at the stadium, but at the hotels that are going to rise up around the stadium.
Yes, there are always promises that the public investment will return more in benefits to taxpayers, but it's not true. Research shows stadiums cost taxpayers much more than the benefits they provide. Politicians also give your money to companies that promise jobs. Ohio politicians gave millions in tax credits to General Motors to keep this factory open. Then GM closed the plant and had the gall to argue, let us keep the money, because cash preservation is important to protect our workforce in Ohio. So the politicians let GM keep a third of the money. Wisconsin gave billions in tax breaks to Foxconn because it promised to create 13,000 jobs. But then they didn't provide those jobs.
They provided a few hundred jobs.
If you look at the cost of each job, it was $1 million.
Actually, more than $1 million. Often politicians justify this welfare for the rich by saying, well, we didn't give cash, just tax breaks. But think about it.
If some big company is in that town and they are not paying property tax, that means every other taxpayer is covering for them, because fire departments still have to be paid for, police departments still have to be paid for, schools still have to be paid for.
I think he's literally trying to eat the money inside the booth.
This Greenpeace video mocks rich oil CEOs getting government handouts.
Literally stuffing billions of dollars of taxpayer cash in his pocket.
But Greenpeace promotes the even bigger cash grab by solar and wind companies, even though they produce just 11% of the energy.
We will always stand with the American farmers.
And politicians from both parties support the welfare for the rich called farm subsidies.
A good farm bill is good for every single American.
Farmers are actually richer than the average American, but Congress still gives them billions.
American farm communities need stability.
Politicians say we won't have a stable food supply without handouts. But that's not true. We don't subsidize fruit and vegetable producers, and we have plenty of fruits and vegetables. It's just that years ago, some politicians decided to give farmers a handout. And once they start giving your money away, they never stop.
I'm an American taxpayer. I pay my taxes. I don't understand why money is leaving my pocket and going into the pocket of somebody who is wealthy and doesn't need it. Stop giving money to rich people who don't need it, especially if it's taxpayer dollars. Just don't. Just stop.
Just stop. The progressives in our society are not necessarily smart. They just don't think. They don't research. They're given marching orders. Ooh. Thank you. My apple. Our pool's 82. Nice. Nice. Donald Trump was the closest thing we had to a president for people. For the people in decades. And the left squandered it. Oh, he's nasty. He said nasty things. Well, you know, I would take a nasty tweet or two if I could get gas back down to, you know, just a little over $2 a gallon. If I could go back to the days when the military was regarded as untouchable and elite and immune from social justice warriors. I'd take a few mean tweets. Damn right I would. They're putting us in peril. It's clear. They're spending our money. They're giving our money away to rich companies like the Raiders and their new stadium, and like pet projects in Nancy's district, pet projects in Chuck Schumer's district, the Kennedy Center for the Performing Arts. All the while they say how much they care about the children. You want more John Stossel? That was a great report, by the way. Go to johnstossel.com. And if you can, support him. He does great pieces like that all the time. We've aired 2 or 3 on climate change that are there that you can go find that are just absolutely amazing. I'll leave you with this one. I don't know if you heard about John Sullivan. John Sullivan is the guy who was inside the Capitol on January 6th. You remember the day of the insurrection, the armed insurrection that we need. We need accountability for. What happened to Ashley Babbitt? There's the $10,000 question. Who killed her? Why? Well, we think we know who killed her. We think we do. The name's been all over the place. We don't know why. I'm not gonna repeat the name. I don't have it right here in front of me anyway. It's David. His name's David. That much I do know. And nobody's pushed back on it. This is all over the media. It's in news stories, it's on social media. David, I can't remember David's last name. He was a guy who was supposed to be guarding our senator who was shot during the baseball practice a few years ago. Same guy, but they aren't saying, but they aren't pushing back. So I assume that probably is an accurate story, but nobody's talking. So we'll try to get to the bottom of that. No, John Sullivan is a guy who was in there on that day, on the 6th of January, and he was pretending to be a news guy. He portrayed himself as an independent journalist who was reporting on the chaos. But what he was doing is actually encouraging people to burn the building and engage in violence. And then he recorded a video of everything happening between rioters and police, and he sold it. He boasted, and to an unnamed witness, he said, "My footage is worth like $1 million, millions of dollars," he said. He sold the footage to several news outlets for a total of $90,000, according to a seizure warrant. The news outlets were redacted from the warrant. But this guy doesn't have any money now, and at least not I don't know how much he had before this. He may be out even more. Who knows what's going to happen if he gets in legal trouble? Who knows? He's probably a lefty. He was there encouraging the violence, so he's probably a lefty. So if he's a lefty, he'll get a pass. Left doesn't believe in justice for their own. They just don't. They're trying to do away with the police. They're trying to do away with bail. Right in Maine. Trying to do away with cash bail for certain crimes. It's a lawless, godless group. And you see them right in the State House here in Maine. Ryan Fecteau, Janet Mills, Troy Jackson, tyrants all, the Three Musketeers. That's all I got. I'll see you tomorrow morning. Mike Violette here bright and early at 6. And remember, today we have high school baseball, 4 o'clock. Waterville, the Waterville Purple Panthers, and the Lawrence Bulldogs in Fairfield. If you can't be there, be here. Legacy1160.com. Listen live. Brought to you by the Harry J. Smith Company or right at AM 1160. Have a great afternoon. Enjoy the heat. I'm John James.
Hi, it's Chelsea from Whittemore & Sons, where we are proud to carry Coyote tractors, some of the most powerful, fuel-efficient, technologically advanced tractors ever built. One reason we love Coyote tractors so much is that we have the perfect machine for anyone with any project. Coyote tractors are also easy to learn, so you can start using them effectively right away. Professionals who have been using Coyote tractors for years love that we have in-depth knowledge of all of our Coyote tractors so that they can get the exact machine and implement they need to take on the most important tasks. Check out the full line of Coyote tractors, attachments, implements, and accessories at Whittemore & Sons, with dependable sales and service for over 50 years. If you have questions or want to schedule a pickup, just call 207-474-2591. Run ahead of the pack with a Coyote tractor from Whittemore & Sons on the Waterville Road in Skowhegan. Sales and service by a family who cares.
Whittemore & Sons, outdoor power equipment.
Northern Light Health is seeking caring individuals that want to make a difference as patient service representatives, medical assistants, LPNs, and medication techs, registered nurses, CNAs, housekeepers, and physical therapists. And to make it easier than ever to join their team, they're hosting a Ride and Apply event Wednesday, June 2nd from noon to 6 in the parking lot of the Faith-Free Evangelical Church on Kennedy Memorial Drive in Waterville. This Ride and Apply event is the perfect chance to apply for full-time, part-time, and per diem opportunities currently available at Inland Hospital, Lakewood Continuing Care, Sebasticook Valley Hospital, and Home Care and Hospice. The right candidates will receive competitive pay, health, dental, and vision insurance, tuition reimbursement, and a 403B retirement plan. And did you know that classes, sponsorships, and scholarships are available to Northern Light employees? Plus, some positions are also eligible for a sign-on bonus. Stop by the hiring event on June 2nd or save time by pre-registering by texting RIDE and APPLY to 506-0033. Again, that's 506-0033. Northern Light Health is an equal opportunity employer.
I'm CBS 13 meteorologist Lexi O'Connor. Partly to mostly sunny, hot, and humid today. With late-day thunderstorms developing for this evening, some may become strong to severe with the potential for damage and winds. Highs will be in the mid-80s to low 90s, 70s along the mid-coast. Mostly sunny 70s and less humid tomorrow. Mostly cloudy, cooler, low 60s Friday.
From the Home Auto Group Studios, Farmington Ford and Franklin Chrysler in Farmington. This is WSKW, Skowhegan, Augusta, Waterville, Legacy 1160.
All right, we're good. We're off. So anyway, let me reiterate. We're just doing video now. So share the phone numbers for. Don't let up. We're going to start using Saul Alinsky's rules for radicals. Keep the pressure on. Don't let up. Change your tactics. Use phone. Use email. Tell Ryan Fector this is important. I'm not doing this. I'm not all over this just because I'm trying to make noise. I'm all over this because this is wholly unfair and puts our state of Maine here in a horrible, horrible position when one guy can summarily just blow all of the opposing party out because they didn't wear a mask. Really? Really? Are you afraid you're going to get the COVID? First of all, if everybody's vaccinated, I assume they are. I would assume everybody there is vaccinated. Right? Then you're safe. Then why would you worry about any of the Republicans if they aren't vaccinated? They're taking their chances. That's their call, not yours. So anyway, so no more committee members are Republicans. They've lost it all. Democrats are representing the whole state. So 207-287-1300. Or you can send emails to ryan.fecteau, F-E-C-T-E-A-U, at legislature.maine.gov. And see what happens. I'm not going to hold my breath. Have a great afternoon. And thank you very much, as always, for joining me. Hope you have a great day. And hope to see you tomorrow. Share Mike's show. Share this show. Freedom, baby. We love it. We got to keep it. Oh, and the book. Thank you. The book that you want to order. I want to make sure I get it right. You can get it today. Scott McEwen. The book is Hell Week and Beyond, The Making of a Navy SEAL. Thank you very much, Shan. And thank you, Alani. Thank you to everybody on video. And, well, we're not streaming audio anymore. So I'll talk to you tomorrow. Have a great day. Maybe I'll go for a swim today.